Thank you, Yadi Lord. It was a rebrain himself. You're absolutely right. Yeah, that's all it is. But I think it's an Easter.
Man, you know the funny thing? When Spoon TV interviewed him on the compound of the president, he tried as much as possible to distance himself from the ambulance donation.
Correct.
But that's what you're doing there. Showing the baby the ambulance. Oh, yeah, right. Maybe somebody passed through you to get the ambulance.
Oh, it would be so celebratory if the president can do this ambulance to say the economic district. I would love this. It would be the biggest story ever. But I'm gonna recognize some of our people.
Yeah, go ahead before we move to the next trending stories that we have.
my people. What somebody said, all you gotta come by the job in it. Really? But again, you don't want to do it to hire you. Don't even talk about job in it. Let's leave that topic. But at the end of the day, man, let's talk Liberia. I see Cabo Vigo Morris. How are you, Michael Corey, Mary Chie, Joe Wilson, Gamen Sarah Doe, Peter Zhu, Vani Kruma, Eric Kwame. We have Exodus, Marcus Myers. We got Sita Herman, H. Herman. We got Moss Cully. We got Jimmy. We got Doris Dolo, Doris Jaba, Armstrong Binda. We got Beatrice Washington. We got Dede Nouvelle. Let me do it this way. I tend to do better. As for Cooper Per Herman, over here, I got Masa Khan and Woodson. I got Veteran Hammond. We got Yata Sumo. We got Dede Nouvelle, Oritha Momo, Martha Doki, Samuel Dube Nam. We got legendary S. Matisilo. We got Emmanuel Connie Walker. Mr. Walker, how are you doing? We got Takon Dixon. We got Gifty Vi, Mohammed Torama, Trawali. How are you doing, Mr. Trawali? We got Kevin Davis. We got Tenen Kruma, Ase Walker, Vanika Zulu, Ohaji Tiger, Siafa Obalanli, Joshua M. Liberty. We got Garment Cully. We got Pele Queen. We got Bwaka In-Law Lu. We got Tadis Fire. Gonkwe Daniel Yalese. We got Ibrahim Wonkula. We got Tombe Chira. We got Chris Sandy. We got Ozzy W. Tool Jr. We got Famata Weeks. Ed Sanjo. We got Alexander Wea Jr. Mawa Fofana. Emma Herman. Murphy Lowe. Over here, we got Suahabi, Pass Away, Vivian Imadi Thomas. How are you? Paula Bombua. We got God's Anointed Favor. We got Amos Yakun, Jacob Franklin Yahweh. We got Marjorie Duncan Follett, Aruna Kamara. How are you doing, Hannah Sa, Tina KSR. We got Prosper David, E. Murphy Hanna, J. Jabate, Nathaniel Soken, Jackson Johnson. Over here, we got Apu Johnson, Miles Montigo. How you doing, Miles? We got Ibra Bear, Wafer Dubber, Martha Doki. I think I say your name already, Martha Doki. Over here, I got Fetriga Moda. Everybody, man, you're welcome to the show. We got Robert Cooper. Let's talk Liberia. Let's continue to push this issue. Not everything we say is going to please everybody. On this network, it's impossible to please everybody. But at the end of the day, one thing I do pride myself of, everything I do say, I mean, everything I do say, I think about them, but with one intention. And that intention is to make this country better. Now, how I go about it may be different from the way you want to go about it. But at the end of the day, I think we want the same thing. But I'm not going to intend to please you, by the way, because I cannot. Dama.
Thank you, Mr. Dwalu and the people. To more trending stories in Liberia today, the nominees for the Inspector General position of the Liberia National Police and the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, plus the Commerce Ministry, appeared before the Liberian Senate for their confirmation hearing. So A.B. Kroma, the LDA boss designate, took his drug test result from Wellness Partners, a sealed envelope, and said, look, if I come to tackle drugs, I must present my drug test to show that I'm drug free, so that when I come in for you, you know that I'm coming, as a person who's not involved. But the thing is, Dwalu, how do we tackle this drugs epidemic as we call it in our country, this thing that is happening in Liberia, this drug infestation? Is it looking at the end users or going after the importer, the source? And usually it's difficult to take down the source because they insulated well.
Very well.
Very well, they insulated, yes. They have money, they have everything. And so how do we do it? Let me
say this, Daman. The Americans, from the 1980s, I actually go back to the 1970s. The Americans had a massive drug epidemic in the country. There is still an opiate problem in America today. So we have sort of a blueprint to go off of. They have now won this war. A war was declared on drugs in America. But we are not America. The reason why I brought America up is because we can use some of their success stories to see how we can replicate it in Liberia. But for me, from the Liberian context, this is what I think. If you remember on the show for months, I continue to preach this. If we want to curb drugs, yes, it's good to stop the drug importation into the country. That's a tough battle. We may get there. Hopefully, Ibrahim Kuruman, Director Kuruman, does something that way, something very radical but legal at the same time to hopefully reduce the amount of drugs addicts across the country. But one thing that will really reduce this is job creation, private sector development. And this is what I believe for a very long time. And hopefully, Honorable Plugger continues to hear this message. If we do not develop this private sector, nothing he does on the drug front is going to work. The thing is, you have to restructure the Liberian family, because if we are raising better children, the probability of going into drugs is less. If you notice across our country, single mothers, homes, sometimes it's grandparents running these homes, there is no male figure there for real role model. I still have a healthy fear of my father. Because my papa just look at me one time, I know stupid we're not going to find near me because they were not going to job me. What I'm trying to say, you need that presence again. So if you want to stop the drug epidemic, my solution: develop the private sector, provide jobs for our men and women so we can restructure the Liberian family. That way we can eradicate drugs. This is the best approach to actually the eradication of drugs. This is empirical, by the way. If you go to the Americans, they've actually viewed this. If you have a decent family structure, that doesn't mean there are not outliers where somebody's going to leave that and do drugs. But I'm talking about probability here, right? So if there were 10 people going before because they have been raised by single parents, or they've been raised by grandmothers, or raised by the community, Zogorast, when you get a mind power there, instead of 10 children going to drugs, we may not just have 2 going to drugs. So my solution would be private sector development. Make sure you provide jobs for the men and women in this country so they can protect their family. I don't believe the government by itself can really do the protection in our country. They can try, but I believe it must come from the family unit. So if we focus on the family, we can actually protect our children.
Okay, thank you, Dalu.
Yeah. I think one way is to kind of tighten our borders. I can remember some part of last year, the former Commissioner General of the LDA, Mr. Boley, he announced that we had more than 140
of the LIS.
The LIS. He announced that we have more than 140 porous entry points.
Bullet points.
In the country, and I mean that is very risky. Even some of those entry points where we have security assigned, the folks still come and they compromise with the security, and then they bring the drugs into the country. So what more about us having that kind of very porous entry point? So I think that is one step that needs to be taken, but also the officers themselves, the LDEA officer. I think during his hearing today, Mr. Kuruman said something. He said that he's going to, increase the salary of the LDEA officers, because most often when they go out there and arrest these drugs, what happens is that they compromise.
We had one story like that coming from Grand Crew, I think last year or 2 years back, where the LDA officers in that county arrested the drugs. They went back, took it, and resold it, and they were arrested in that act. So
so if we have people who should be enforcing the law, compromising the law, then it becomes a problem. and it's still going to be a setback to the fight against drugs in the country.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We'll move on to two more trending issues, and then we'll open the lines for our folks to tell us what's on their minds before the rest of the panelists join on. If you're just joining us, this is Liberia's biggest talk show. This is the Spoon Talk. So on today, the Presidential Press Secretary, Madam Kula Yen Fofana, did her first press briefing, and amongst those items or line items that she touched on, based on the question that I asked, was the issue of when will President Boakai move to the executive mansion. After all, his predecessor said the mansion was okay. They had done enough work. It was intact for a president to work from. And in fact, President Weah, a couple of days in the week, used to go to the executive mansion under the guys that he's working from there, and she said the place, the ceilings hanging, some floors, you can't even go there. It's not hospitable. It's not a place that a person can work from. So the question is, how soon then will President Boakai move and start working from the executive mansion? Remember, since his inauguration, he's been working from his rehab home and office. So she said February this month, the president is going to move in the executive mansion. But the key point here is, she said it was all pageantry. It was all a charade, that the mansion was okay and people could work from there. So in your own office, it's rough. So what's going on with this entire executive mansion thing, Mr. Dwalu?
Look, Damon, one of the things in my life, I don't know how to sugarcoat things. So people can say Dwalu is direct and forceful. It's just my nature. Let me put it like this. Nobody wants to move to the executive mansion. No president, from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to even from Charles Taylor. Let me go back one step. From Charles Taylor to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to President Weah, now to President Boakai. So the expectation that the executive mansion is going to be prepared, sort of charade. President Weah never wanted to move over there. He only did that. The local laws, the same Muya Nas thing. See, I fixed the mansion. The first in 1847, it was not actually fixed. We all know the mansion was not fixed. What they did was they fixed a little room. They gave an appearance as though they were doing something. President Boakai, my prediction, will not move to the mansion because the mansion is not adequately prepared to be moved into. If you remember, under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, I believe it was Dr. McLean that was over the whole thing, the late Dr. McLean, to actually take over the mansion and revitalize this mansion. Personally, if you're left with me, I think it should be torn down and a new one rebuilt, because it seems we have pumped more money into the mansion over the last 18 years to the point where the mansion has not been renovated. So we're going to keep seeing the thing over and over. The expectation that there's going to be properly prepared where the president's going to move into the mansion, it's not going to happen over 6 years because we are not putting enough there. I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking the effort and the willpower to want this mansion transformed to be prepared for the presidency. It's not there, and that's the reason why nobody's.
So are we taking all the funds and all of the years, if we look at, that went into renovation works and everything, and it has amounted to nothing?
Yeah.
Wouldn't we have had a state-of-the-art executive mansion by now?
Yes.
That would be inhabited by presidents, at least, since the Sirleaf to Weah to Boakai time.
Let me say this, Damon. One thing we don't recognize in Liberia, imagery is everything. When dignitaries come to our country and you're meeting the president at his home, or you're meeting the president over the Foreign Affairs Ministry on the top floor, it doesn't have that representation of the presidency. It takes away from what the president should be. The mansion was built with a targeted intention. And that intention, it exudes this command of authority.
The door alone.
Yeah, exactly.
That
the
door
doors,
alone.
exactly.
When you get to that door,
Even
it's intimidating. That giant.
So it is designed that way, but we forget this. And there are stories, and I would say this: there are stories where people say, "Oh,
the mansion is a turn around."
Yeah, the mansion when you go there, you will die, or the mansion you get witchcraft in it, and all of those have been said before. My people, the executive mansion, if I remember the numbers correctly, somebody can help me here. From Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to President Weah, for President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, to President Weah, I think we spent close to $100 million that have been allocated towards the renovation of the mansion. Close to $100 million. I want you guys to understand. Let me put this into context for you. The entire county of Nima County, where approximately, I believe, 500,000 people living there, have not been allocated $100 million over the last 18 years. We've sent that money to one house, and the house has not been built. And that's all I'm going to say to that.
And net bottomless net to some phone money.
People just
You know.
use it to do whatever they want. And nobody accounts for this. I know there was a call on Ellen Johnson, President Ellen Johnson, sorry, to have an audit done on the mansion. Everybody talked, nothing was done. And all that money, I believe in the budget, every single year they were allocating approximately $10 million towards the renovation of the mansion. Nothing happened. We heard stories about, some Chinese people came here, they took the marble tile. We had EPS officers there guarding this place. This is the people's house. The
And you
people's
sit there
house.
and you allow people to take the valuable items away and replace them with substandard and the rest.
Everything substandard. And this is our mansion. So if we cannot renovate this, let's tear it down. Let's build a massive new modern mansion. This thing looks archaic. It looks like it's from the 1970s and 1960s. That's how it looks. So if we want something new, it has to be representative or build it into a modern style. But let's do this country right for once.
For me, I'm for the mansion being turned into a museum.
Okay.
That's
another option.
Yeah, because what we have as our museum, it's not really up there for me. You have presidential vehicles left to the elements, out there exposed and all of those things. They can just turn it into a historic site for us, that people can go there and learn and see how presidents work and all of these things, and then try and find a spot to build something new, because
Man, we got to do
that
this
bidding,
shit.
no, they've been trying, but they're not making.
Yeah, but and my brother Seaton, you made a comment, say 10. I say over the span of 12 years, the government of the Republic of Liberia allocated approximately $10 million per year towards the mansion. That's what was allocated to the mansion renovation. And I laid a disclaimer, I could not be 100% correct, but I know substantial amount of money was allocated to that. I'm actually going to Google and see what are the numbers are out there, but I know it was a lot of money, not 10 million. It was far above $10 million. That's been allocated over the last 18 years towards the renovation of the mansion. Stanton, welcome to the show, bro.
Boomberger, what's up, Chief?
Yeah, I Mr. Dwalu, Damas Slanger, and Yagazi Zwogwe. Yagazi, Pwabwa.
Come on.
Yagazi, Kumani.
Kumani, that one I give you.
So you
No,
guys
no
can
man.
Today I decided to switch coffee. So I'm doing Starbucks today, right? Because I know Dwalu, I doing Starbucks Dwalu. Not Wawa. I'm trying to, I'm doing a tea, a mint tea from Starbucks. If any of you guys try it out. I'm trying to move around to be like Sam Jackson. That's the reason why Uncle Sam Jackson living this long. We gotta know the secret to his longevity. And folks, right, let me bring him up. Seriously speaking, Dwalu, we gotta know the secret to this young cat longevity. He's a young cat, the youngest among the cats. But what is the hidden secret, Mr. Jackson? What's the hidden secret yet? Why are you still living? And you're not only living, but you're living bigly. You travel every week when you want. You eat any food in Ghana, in South Africa, in Atlanta, in New York. You're moving too strong for CDC, and now Unity Party came over. You're just making them to just smell it. What's going on?
Okay, 3 letters in the alphabet. G-O-D. God.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow. Wow. Man.
Yes.
I just want to encourage everyone. We can laugh, we can talk politics, Mr. Dwalu, we can joke. But I think Sam Jackson would be a good imitator when you want to live long. And he's not only living long, he went down to grab one of the youngest chicken on the farm. The youngest chicken on the farm.
How was the secret question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let me make clarification.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to say my wife's age, but I can assure you, she looks 20 years younger than her age.
Wow, I believe it.
Okay?
And that's why I'm saying she's the youngest chicken on the farm.
So just imagine she's been practicing law going to 14 years. 14 years of practicing law. So just figure it out. Yes.
But listen, I don't know. I know, listen, you stay in this game. We're watching you, your every move, and we want to say thanks for joining us again. I know Isidore is coming. Dr. Richardson will be. Yeah, I believe Fagon will be on tonight. I don't know how true it is. Glennie Jane Hills. I heard that Glennie's husband is a pastor. He is a pastor. We want to ask her when she get on. We got to know our family, you know. We got to know our family, not in sport. And we got some video to play today. You know, one of the appointed gentlemen saying that he would kill somebody. We got to play that video. It's circulating on social media. What's going on with all these appointments? We're expecting some names to come up this weekend. Disenchanted Unity Party. Oh, Sam Jackson, let me leave Dwallu for a bit. Now I'm understanding that they get disenchanted UP. How soon can you be to be a disenchanted UP? How soon, Uncle Sam?
So one of the videos that is circulating on social media, when I saw Reverend Luther Tappe.
Hey, yeah, don't talk about it. Don't go ahead. Hey, yeah, hey, yeah. Hey, yeah.
I saw Reverend Luther Tappe with a whole congregation to His Excellency President Bokar House.
I don't think so. I will hold you there and we will speak the truth, nothing but the truth. Help us, oh God. The man is a reverend. I respect all the reverends out there, but I will say to you, Mr. Dwallu, I don't know what's going on. Here we are, Mr. Dwallu. It is concerning. It's getting serious out there, but I can assure Liberians home and abroad that President Joseph Yima Boakai got this under control. The train is on track. There will be no derailment. The train is on. I want you to say with me that as President Joseph Yima Boakai remain conducted on the train is on track. Hey, Mr. Dwallu, can I get a second?
Absolutely. The train is on track. Sometimes, look, for a very long time, people said the train was slow. My people, I left my bleaching cream in America. That's why I buy it. The bleaching cream in America, Stanton sees it. But the train is on course. Look, listen, the disenchantment should not start this early. I understand some people say, listen, we fought for days, we did this, we did that. I get it, I understand it, but Uncle Boakai, I believe he has this under control. You have to understand this. You cannot sideline the people that brought you to power at the end of the day. So I think he's going to make this right. It's going to be done right. People just need to chill out a little bit, okay? And I'm getting dark. I just ordered my bleaching cream. Will be here soon.
Then you will leave. But Uncle Sam, let's say though, before let's enjoy ourselves before the other people reach out to us. Is this train on track?
So I want it to be on track. I pray that it's on track.
But is it on track? That's the question. Is that what you want? Is the train on track?
So the only way you will know whether the train is on track when the train starts to move. The train not even moved yet. The train is stationary. It's at the beginning where beginning location. So it hasn't even started moving towards its destination. Because in order for the train to move towards its destination, you need to have the conductor, you need to have the other person there that play a supporting role, the sweeper, and everybody. So
you have them, Uncle Sam. You have them. You have them, Uncle Sam. I'm getting calls right now. I just received 3 calls. Somebody said, Stanton, check yourself. One person said the train is not on track. Another person said the train on track. And the third person said they have not seen the train. Damaslanger, you are assigned with the president. You always in that compound. What are you hearing? Tell us something that we don't know. Is this train on track?
Well, CEO, I'll just say the train is on track.
I'm not looking at Abba. Talk to us.
There are some disenchanted, passengers on board the train. But we've been informed that question again was asked by me. How in control is the president of his nomination process? He's in control. the train is on track. As Mr. Jackson said, the train hasn't even left the station yet, but the fact is, it's still on track. It's not off the track.
The train has not left the station yet.
Not really. It's still moving slowly. The cabinet is still forming. You know, you just had 3 out of those nominated confirmed so far. The president's agenda is in full swing. Slowly, it's getting there. It has not even gotten, its full momentum yet. But there are some disenchanted passengers on board.
How can you get disenchanted and then treat it? He ain't leave the station yet. You are telling me
it could be the heat. It could be the heat in the train.
Have they started the engine?
The conductor.
Is the engine running? Is the engine running? Is the engine running? Dama, is the train engine running?
The engine is running, but it's still warming. You know the train.
Who put the key in the ignition? Who pressed the on we go button? Who pressed the button?
Like the driver now. Where the driver does that?
So who's the driver?
JMB.
So Fagon or JMB?
JMB is
the train be coming.
So, but let me understand something. Dr. Richardson, welcome. Glenn, welcome. Let me go back to Duaru. Duaru, somebody pressed the start button. I mean, it's not starting or you have some clock problem because when you press it, you get.
I don't agree. You agree
to this. We can tell. I put it agree the red or one.
Brother and sister, you're welcome to the Spoon Talk, man.
Welcome to the Spoon Talk. The tree is very long. We got to fill all the cards. The tree is very long. So the tree long. So people are entering the tree now as we speak. It's starting. It's warming up. The seats are here. Some people get a coach cap. Some people get a bench. Some people on the side. But the tree will go eventually. People have to be a little patient. That's all. That's what I'm saying.
The tree got 100 days to reach to the first 100 miles. And you can say what you want to say. In 100 days, the tree should be covering 100 miles. So if we dare still do it, that's a problem. Mr. Jackson, before I go back to my sister, do we have a problem here? Do we have a problem, Mr. Jackson?
Yeah, so Stanton, JMB himself, His Excellency JMB said he was a parked car for 12 years on Elling.
Okay.
Those were his words. Then, if he was a parked car for 12 years, then you ask Joe, you're on a 6 year there, that 18 years. So if you parked your car in the garage for even 1 month, like I parked my car in Atlanta, when I went there, I had to call 888 for them to come to start to go charge the battery, right? So maybe for 18 years, maybe something wrong with the what do you call it? Things like alternator.
So
maybe something wrong.
They need a tune-up.
Well, no, but if the car just been parked there, maybe it rusted. We got an engine and a machine, so maybe it rusted. So maybe they need to grease it good. Maybe they're greasing it. That the whole process are going on there. The greasing.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Spoon Talk. We're gonna have a blast for you. We got 2 videos we'll be playing today. Now, listen, the guest for today's show have been Beman Cody, the designated lady that go into general ministry. We just asked her to hold over here. Her confirmation coming up. We'll talk to her next week. But this thing about the train and the disenchanted folks that are on the train, we are about to start naming them. We know some of them. We gave them ticket to enter the train, so we know them. When some of them didn't buy a ticket, some of them went through the window. Some of them got on the train by slow way. So what's going on? Who is starting the train? Why the train not moving? Why we say in the move? Why the engine not starting? Dr. Francine, Dr. Richardson.
Oh gosh, I'm just too tired already. But it's good to be here. I'm glad that we can laugh. Starting the show just with laughter. There's many things I'm thinking about. The first is, as I said yesterday, when one decides to support someone, what are your motives? What are your underlying thoughts about supporting someone? Are you there because you want the country to change? You want to rescue the country and rescue in parentheses? Or are you there because you want something in exchange? Are you having a transactional relationship with the person who's running to be president. Or the second thought I had is about this issue about loyalty and commitment. If you're a leader and you cannot see or you can't understand or you are unable to connect with the people who may be loyal to you or who is loyal to you, I'm questioning the practice or the mindset of the standard bearer or the person who was elected. So those two things are on my mind. How hard it is to call the people who you feel are loyal to you or who have, constantly beat your message, to differentiate whether those people have underlying motivation for supporting you, or whether they love the country, or whether they want a job. So I think an easy kind of conversation interview process, as opposed to pushing them away from you. Those are my thoughts.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. Let me bring in Glendy JJ. Glendy?
Hello, everybody. So quite a few things today. I listened to the press secretary, Madam Kula Fofana, and in her introductory statement, she talked about, which caught my attention, that when they do move to the mansion, so meaning that JMB will be moving to the mansion, she was saying to the press people, when we move to the mansion, you all will have a better place to sit where we can do an interview. And I was concerned about that because we queried President Weah about working from home. So we want to make sure that President Boyka, sooner rather than later, will transition to the executive mansion and that he will do official duties from there and not his private home. Also, I watched and saw Boffa Chimas today donated an ambulance to the president of the Republic of Liberia, which I think was wrong. I think JMB should have just asked him to donate that ambulance to JFK, or donate it to the people of Plebo, Maryland County, instead of accepting that as a gift. I felt that he should. I mean, it would have been wrong to say no, but he could. I hope that later on, subsequently, President Boyka will ask him to make a donation to a government hospital. Why is he doing it? There can be several reasons as to why Boffa Chima, former speaker, will want to give President Boyka an ambulance that is not less than, I think Dwalu, I heard them talking about it earlier, less than $200. So for me, this gift is like a pay to play, and President Boyka will be watching. It's not something that you should accept. It is something that you should ask him to donate to one of the counties or one of the hospitals. And if there's an intro,
Glendy, just an intro.
I haven't even gone 1 minute. I haven't even gone 1 minute 30 seconds.
I want
yet.
you to just
I know you eat potato green more to them. I say I eat potato green. So
no,
potato green plus potato green. My own half fewer leave is out.
Let's touch the headlines. Then we'll jump into the story.
So that's one of the Boffa Chima stuff. And then of course there's a lot of noise around about appointments. Everybody's talking about appointments. So we'll be looking to see, hoping that there will be some new appointments made today. So those are the three things that I have on my list. Thank you.
Thank you, Glendy. Thank you very much. I don't know what the JJ stand for, but I know the last
Jane Juniors, Glendy Jane Juniors.
Okay. He's in Liberia. Let me bring in former Deputy Minister Isaac Doe.
Well, see you a lot. Am I on?
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Let me say hi to all of you. It's nice being back here. One of the concerns, discussion about the improvement of our country and how things get better. We are always privileged to be here. But listen, I was driving, coming here. I started thinking a lot. Okay, this new government is about 12 days or so now. Since 12 o'clock, January 22nd to today, what has this government or president done that affected anything in our country? Be it the economy? What statement have they issued towards anything? What policy position have they taken towards anything? I kept asking, economy-wise, nothing. Youth-wise, nothing. Everywhere I look, nothing. What is going on in the name of God? They're supposed to be the government with the most experienced people. I will not believe today that the government did not come into power with a plan already laid out. If indeed there was a plan already laid out, we should be having something done today. But well, the only thing I saw that was achieved so far was a donation and receipt of one ambulance. Of all things, why would the former speaker decide to donate ambulance? I'm still wondering why.
So we gotta go.
Everywhere, and it's all just messy.
Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Minister Doe. Good to have you. My own brother, the man from Bapolu, where I just came from, Ambula Mame. You're muted.
Thank you. Good to be here. I will just follow through with the talking points you have. I'm concerned about the appointments. I think there are structural issues there that need to be addressed. We came here on the show and announced that the most progressive and radical thing that ever happened in our country was the policy position of President Boakai to decentralize government and divert power from the presidency to people in the rural places. I think there's a stumbling block that the president has placed ahead of that agenda. The appointment of the Minister of Internal Affairs, I think, is problematic. I don't know what informed that appointment, but we expected more than that. And we can go into the details around appointment, around what we expect from the Ministry of Internal Affairs and who is going there, whether that person is able to achieve it. That's one of the appointments I'm not pleased with, including the appointment of the Deputy Minister for Budget, that agent. I mean, those two appointments for now, I'm not happy with them. I'm not pleased with them. The tax of the Ministry of Internal Affairs and the person you appointed to preside over that tax, I'm not comfortable.
Thank you very much, Ambula Mame. We're going to go back to Dwalu and Mr. Jackson to have the official intro. Mr. Dwalu, can you adjust your camera, please? Go ahead, Mr. Dwalu.
Okay, thank you so much. Look, like again, welcome to the audience. For me, these appointments, I have some reservations about them. I have some questions as though the appointment coming from the president directly. And I want to make the claim whether I can substantiate those. I'm not quite sure yet. But my intake for this country, and I will continue to stress this, is we have to get serious about the people's business. We must attach a higher degree of seriousness to the people's business. I don't want these early infightings to the extent that we forget the purpose for this administration coming to power. That is to provide a higher standard of living for our people, or at least improve that standard of living. When it comes to the issue of job creation in this country, I don't see any focus so far. I know people will say this is still early. We get that it's still early, but I want to see some bells ringing in that direction. Let's birth the private sector, and we'll continue to push for this, my people, because if we do not, you can build bridges in the air. If the people don't have jobs, all of those mean nothing. Stenson.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Jackson. Thank you, Dwalu.
Okay, so when this rescue train, when it was being heralded as a replacement for an administration that I supported, and the Liberian people voted for that, and it was a clear win. It was a decisive victory. I was thinking and hoping that with all of the remarks that were made, the vaunt, the boast, and charging the public, and really revving the public up, revving up expectations. I would have thought minimally, Stanton, minimally, there would have been 2, 3, or 4 executive orders made to correct some of the things that Liberian people are interested in. Something on security, something on the drug issue, something on the economy, and something on foreign affairs, or something to that effect. But the fact that You've gone to what, 12 days, and you have not seen one executive order. You have not seen one policy position. You have not seen the President Boycott address the Republic, address the citizens on a major issue besides the State of the Nation address that he did. It is very worrisome. And then when you combine that with the clear infighting going on with the nomination process and the withdrawal of some of the nominations, and I want you to, I just sent you Martin Colley's post today, where he says, this is what Martin Colley said, that there are some people who have been appointed are high school graduates, while professionals, known professionals have not been appointed. And also, some people who have been appointed did not even play a part, did not even play a role in the election. But those foot soldiers, you're making them to wait. After 4 or 5 rounds of announcements and nominations, if you haven't heard certain names like Mo Ali, like Stephen Johnson, like Eugene Fagon, and others, it is very telling that Boyka may not be being loyal to his foot soldiers. So it's becoming worrisome. And Stanton, I talk to everybody across the board. People talk to me because
thank you. We'll come there. Is there anything else on your mind? Because we got to go into the topic. Then we all have to have our say. Is there anything else?
I want this government up and running because the government is up and running, and we open up the economic space and we attract, we improve the environment. Then we can all join hands together.
And we can talk. Thank you very much. We want to welcome every one of you. Thank you for joining us. Share the program. Find us on YouTube, on Spoon, on Fabric, on Super, on Facebook. We are there. Again, find us on the radio, Fabric FM 101.1, Super FM 95.5, and Spoon FM 107.5, all in Monserrado. But you can find us with all of the other outlets. We want to say, join us. We are going to have a very, very balanced conversation tonight. This is not one political party network. This is not for CDC. It's not for Unity Party. It's not for any political party. It's for the Liberian people, where we come and discuss the issue. So everyone, welcome. Once you come, you discipline yourself, you can make your case, and everyone will listen to you home and abroad. We want to say thank you for joining us. The first video tonight, I want us to play this video that Mambe brought about, and I will go back to Mambe. Francis Nyumane. He was appointed by President Joseph Yeman Boyka as an internal affairs minister. Who is Francis Nyumane? Where is he from? If anybody can help us, we appreciate. But we woke up this morning and we came across this video. I want to play the video and I want you to decide, because now this video will go in the archive. All the lawmakers now. Who's the chair on internal affairs? It's Prince Yedu Johnson. Who's the co-chair? Edwin Mervyn Snow. I will personally send this video to them. And I will challenge Prince Yedu Johnson and Edwin Mervyn Snow as to the decision. Is Nyumane qualified? Francis Nyumane, is he qualified to serve in that ministry, Ministry of Internal Affairs? Let's play the video, folks.
Let the fucking family out of here. Or as out in the public, you're getting 100 security, you're getting 100 army with nothing to test. I'm saying the Republic. I'm tired. I'm tired. If I fight for my book, anyway, I have to be. I swear to my damn mother. Anyway, I fight for my book. I must stay here as I lead this book. Anyway, I fight for my book, I can. And when they say 10 amen, 200 amen, they will be vain. Everywhere I find what I move, if we are the secretary, I will attack it. I'm moving it. I'm going to get 25 money back. 333 plus 75%. Wherever I move, I will move it. I'm done. I'm done. I'll let you know anything. Wait. say now, is the Bible only the vein that they can use, you know, but you tell other people, I don't have what I want today. I will mock you to death. I said,
Just one minute. I want your attention as a dog, please, and Mr. Duadu. Anywhere that he called the person name, anywhere I see him, I will mock him to death. It's very clear on the radio. It's very clear in that video. Anywhere I see him, I will mock him to death. I have men. I'm a former rebel. I want you to take your time because we'll play it. And we send this out to Prince Johnson, his chair on internal affairs. Edwin Mervyn Snow, I will send it to him, his co-chair, and the rest of them. I will send it to the pro tem. I will send it to the vice president. And I guarantee you that they will see this video and tell the Liberian people that this gentleman, Francis Yumani, should be questioned. And Liberians, hearing what you just heard, should he hold to that position? Ambula Mame.
The first thing, I mean, sometimes anger can lead people to say what they say. I'm playing the devil's advocate here. Anger can lead people to say what they say. In the mood he said it. But outside of anger, for somebody to be brave to say, recall me, I will kill somebody, it's a sound of a trauma. It's a sound that something is not right mentally. To publicly announce that you will mock somebody to death. Anybody doing that, there must be something beyond, there's something abnormal about you saying you will mock somebody to death and doing it publicly. But like I said from the beginning, anger can make anybody to say anything. Mr. Numale can speak to that mood, the circumstances under which he made a statement. The issue I have is, ever since in our country we've been seeing the Ministry of Internal Affairs as being a ministry for Sasewu and country devil and society issues. That has just been the whole perception. The people have taken the traditional council and they have created a unit, traditional council, to handle all those issues. They've transformed the Ministry of Internal Affairs into an institution responsible for high-level development and decentralization, governance, rule of law, dividing and separating power and authority, resource mobilization in rural places, revenue generation and sharing. International partners have worked with us to ensure that we have a Ministry of Internal Affairs that we call Ministry of Local Government. The president came and announced that he's ready to do that. Numale cannot be the best person in our country to lead our effort. He cannot. And the president has authority to appoint him anywhere, but there are certain appointments in government that you must just put your best foot forward. It cannot be Numale. He doesn't have the experience to lead decentralization and governance issues across the country. He doesn't have the track record. He has now worked there. See the 10-year implementation plan for decentralization in the country. When you read it, you get afraid when you see Numale attached to it as the person who coming to implement it. Developed with the government by USAID and other partners. Enacted into law. See the 10-year decentralization plan that the Ministry of Local Government is supposed to be implementing. And you see Numale attached to it as the person responsible to drive that process. You get afraid. And just know that it will collapse, it wouldn't go anywhere. That's the problem we have with him. He can explain about his anger issue that led him to make the comments he made. But the fundamental issue we have with him here is, brother, this is not your area. This thing will not work under Numale. It will not work under him because he has no track record of working in high court governance, in decentralization. He doesn't understand it. He doesn't have expertise, doesn't have educational background. How will you do that? We thought this decentralization thing would have been the premier legacy of President Boakai. That when he out of power, people will point to him and say, this president, since 1847, decentralized government, gave power to local people, share revenue, and the rest of the other good benefit that come with decentralization. They take the money and give to him. It's a failure already as coming. With that particular ministry.
With that attitude, thank you very much, Mame. Duadu, with that attitude, with that posture, saying I will mock him. Anyway, I say him, I got men with arm, 30 men, 75 men. I want to get more motor back. You watching the Duadu transformation. We experienced this before. Look at Jefferson Koji's situation. Are we bringing in another Jefferson Koji here? Duadu? Are we bringing in another Jefferson Koji to say, I will call the men then? Is that what Newman is saying? Let's hear from you, man. Is this what the people settling for?
Stanton, I will agree 100% with everything Abdullah Mehmet said, and I will add an addition 100% of everything he said. And I'm going to say this. Look, every time we scream on this network and tell you Liberia has to find the best and brightest, we're not saying it based on degrees and this and that. We have to remove this issue of patronage. People believe, look, I'm in power. Nobody can do nothing to me. I can do anything to anybody as I so please and get away with total impunity. And that is true. This is how we've run this country for a very long time. Look, Timberlane or Yimberlane will not speak in that fashion. If he doesn't feel he's protected, no matter what he does. Imagine this man becomes a minister of internal affairs. If he can speak that in that fashion, and then you give him power, how is he going to speak? Look, a few months back on this very network, I said this. Before a man comes to the governmental space, he or she must possess certain characteristics. This is not something you just say or do. Must be an integral ingredient for that man to be able to stay in that environment. He must hold a higher standard for the society and the people whom he leads. He must understand his role and how it affects everything he or she does in that society. I don't think Yemeni understand this. What he does understand is, I did be man now. Anything I don't do, I can do it. Nothing can come inside. My uncle are president. This is the crap we're supposed to live under. You don't wake us up. Center.
Wow, Duadu. Wow. Also, though, before we go upstairs to the nice, the big boss up there, let me come to you. Welcome to the show, Connor Gray. Before we get to Sam Jackson, Glendy, and Dr. Richardson, I know you are from the other side of the eye. You are from opposition. We understand that. But please, for the sake of Liberia, help us understand. They beat on Jefferson Koji. I will be fair here. We all beat on Jefferson Koji. Walking down the street, talking about he got men, he got young talks. And everything else was said about Jefferson Koji. Today, he's on sanction. Human rights sanction. The international community now watching. They are watching this clip. You might have said he would kill somebody. He will mock the person to death. Anywhere you see that person, what say you? What is coming to you as it do?
Well, CEO, thank you so much. Again, like you said, for the sake of our country, and I've always said, I don't see myself as opposition, quote unquote, like those who disagree with everything, no matter what. I see myself as a patriot, someone who wants to help Liberia get better. And so let's go down the line. CEO, we had an election that result proved that the country is evenly divided. That means your actions should reflect things that will bring people together. That's where I'm a little disappointed in the president, His Excellency, for taking steps that he knows will not bring such result at all. Let's go back a little while. If you remember the name Zolizo, that's where I'm of the highest conviction that Senator Darros DeLong will be the champion in ensuring that Mr. Yimale, if that's his name correctly, is not confirmed. I will be shocked. And I will say this as a double standard on the part of Senator DeLong if someone who has said far more than what Zolizo said, for which he was not confirmed, can go through. Let me remind you, Zolizo said then that if anyone attacks me or my family, I will protect myself against them. He wasn't confirmed. That charge was led by Senator DeLong. Today, we are having a person who will be taking care of our internal affairs, who have threatened to kill and mob someone, and that person, don't forget, was the police commander in Lofa. Tell me what internal affairs operations you will be having without revenge from someone who already had that mind. If the president does not recall this nominee, it is my hope, and I'm very sure, that Senator DeLong will do the needful and ensure that this nominee does not get confirmed. It's you and I talked about, and I thought it was way beyond imagination. Why would the president, after knowing what I am sure he knew, because my understanding, there is a committee that is going through fast for everyone, unless that committee is just equal to the committee that did the inauguration stuff, then I will be questioning exactly what they're doing. They should have known that indeed Mr. Yimane does not possess what you need for a person to serve in your government in which you want unity to be at the forefront.
Wow. Wow. Mr. Jackson, this is homegoing tonight for this show, because the fact remains that this man was appointed by the newly elected president, Joseph Yeman Boakai. And I also want to say, because you have history in this business of politics and Liberian politics as a whole, the Internal Affairs Ministry, what does it bring to the nation? And having someone like Yeman now that threatened to mock somebody to death.
So, okay, so let me ask. Thank you very much, Stanton. Let me ask you your first question. In the post-war, the Ministry of Internal Affairs has been used to increase the president's influence and reach into all of the country, and especially in the rural areas. That's how it's been organized. That's how it's been instituted, and that how it's been implemented. That, you know, the Internal Affairs Ministry with Blamo Nelson and with Ellen, with even that before, even in pre-war with Dan Marias on Charles Taylor, and then of course recently with this other Salif man on Madam Salif. It's been used to increase the president's influence in the river, and then to help the president political agenda, and eventually for re-election in the other counties. That's how it's been set up. But let's just be very clear. Presidential appointments are a reflection of the values, the moral and character of the person who is making those appointments. That is Joseph Yeman Boakai. Anybody that I put in management, that I bring in my household and give them certain responsibility, that person should reflect my core values. And if the appointments that we are seeing, some of them so far, I don't believe they reflect the core and essential values of President Boakai or the agenda that was preached during the term of the election. Because the way I saw it was that this new administration will be charting a course markedly different from the CDC, which they accuse of being inept, engaging in human rights violation, engaging in corruption, and being in a totally inefficient government. But to see these people who are supposed to be some of the best and brightest Liberians to come together in a committee, to put together a vetting committee, and to keep making these personnel mistakes, that's a very bad start, Stanton. Let's just be very clear, it's a very bad start. Because a good beginning of an administration will indicate how successful that administration will be, how its agenda will be implemented, and how there will be improvements in the lives of the Liberian people. But unfortunately, almost 5 cases now. I mean, really, bad choices being made in terms of personnel. And for somebody to come out and threaten to kill somebody, and like Mommy said, that person's psychological, and Dr. Richardson, I want you to speak to that. The psychological profile of an individual who makes a public threat to kill somebody, that is something should be totally intolerable in our political economy. Anybody who voices out the intent to eliminate, to execute another human being, that person does not belong in the governance space. And Joseph Boyka should do the right thing, should not even wait for Dylan Dan to refuse to confirm him. He should just pull back. So the other questions that I want to know is Joseph Boyka really running the show? Is it a case of the tail wagging the dog or the dog wagging the tail? Who is ultimately responsible for these decisions? Is this? So I know Joseph Boyka a long time. These appointments do not appear to be a reflection of the moral character of the psyche and the good orderly man that I know. Somebody else or a group of people must be puppeteers and doing things in the background that we don't know about. And you all who are close to the process center, you all should investigate these. Because the things that are coming up should not come out so soon. It's too soon. It's too soon for these things to enter.
Thank you very much, folks. Again, welcome to the Spoon Talk. We appreciate your everyday presence on this program. Glendy?
So I think this is a little bit of what we said yesterday, holding the new government accountable. I think when Mr. Jackson is asking who is responsible, Joseph Boyka is the president. He is responsible. It's under his watch that all of these things are happening. And we keep asking them to take whatever the necessary precautions and necessary caution they need to take to be able to ensure that these things are not happening. And I see a lot of people who's watching, they're saying, oh, this happened during weird time, and this happened in this scenario. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter when he said what. The fact that he said it affects his character, affects the position that he's going to hold. When we do these things, we have to remember that they're going to come after us. So we have to be cautious. Now, he was in that situation and he responded. Who knows how he's going to respond to the next situation? I think it's unfortunate that nobody, I don't know if they checked him out. I don't know if they knew about this video, but Facebook should be able to assist them to do all of these check and balances. Just put the person in. If you want to see his 10 likes, potato green, put his name in there, you will see it. Facebook will help you. These small mishaps should not be occurring because we trust the government to make the appropriate decisions. So all of these things that's happening, I hold nobody else responsible except President Boyka. It's under his watch and it's under his lead. And they need to re-strategize. And every time there's a mistake, you need to go and check and see what happened. Performance improvement. In nursing, we got to pay. You go and check it and see what happened. What can we do to fix this and do that? But we cannot continue to be talking about these things, these break-in processes every other day. It doesn't look good at all. And we just have to be fair to call it out.
Thank you very much, Glendy. Dr. Richardson?
So I'm going to start by stating a couple of observations about the video. First, we saw someone who appeared to be angry, showing bad temperament. He banged on the table. He verbalized threatening statements like, he's going to mock someone to death, and that he was capable of killing somebody. So I want you to think about those words as you sort of look at leadership quality. He definitely didn't present his behavior, nor what he verbalized were not consistent with leadership qualities. The next thing that came to my mind is when I think about perhaps the objectives of the internal ministry. I think about, like Mama said, a ministry that would like to decentralize government. It's a highly people skill for me, highly people skill ministry. It's going to take calmness, coolness, ability, persuasive skills to be able to speak to people of different cultural backgrounds. That's actually what that ministry was designed for, given our complex history. We have a very complex history in our country. How we were founded, our foundation is very complex. So we'll need a high level of people skill, pro-social people skill, not anti-social people skill in terms of anger display. So the question that I have is, how was he vetted? I think Glendy asked the same question. That's how why I'm asking the same. How was he vetted? You know, a video like this should have been seen. He should have been called in for further questions, because everybody make bad choices someday. We all get angry. But then let's follow up with what happened on this day. Is this an isolated incident? Is this something that we've seen happen before? What are his track record in terms of people skills, in terms of managing people? Because where he's going to be managing people. I also, what are his decision-making ability? We talk about decentralizing the government here. That's a huge task. How has he contributed to such a decision-making? And lastly, Mr. Jackson says something very consistent. What I wrote down here, does he represent the expectation of Joseph Boakai? Because ultimately the buck stops with Joseph Boakai, and that's what I have to say.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richards. And those points are well taken. Conor Gray, welcome to the show. This is about Francis Nyumani. We're going to talk more on him and some of the characteristics that we follow through Facebook, whether they are consistent with his behaviors when he displayed that he's going to mock someone to death. And the gentleman he said he's going to mock to death will show the picture of that gentleman. Whether the gentleman is a sedition or whatever the case may be, it's not our argument. But for you to represent the president, Joseph Yeman Boakai, and you have an anger, temperament problem, I think that's where we are going. And he meant it. He said, I got men. I'm a former rebel. Conor Gray, talk to us.
Well, we all have things in our past, and most of us might be judged by what we've written or what we've said in the past. But I think society has a grip on our true character, who we are. When I see someone like Samuel Jackson, for instance, I know exactly. I can surmise exactly, his character. But I don't think I can affix any level of violence to his character. When a man speaks, we have to be able to determine whether or not he's capable of doing that. And he's telling us that I'm capable because I'm a former rebel. That is something that is unrepresented in that office. Because that office, you're dealing with locals, people who are heads of their own constituencies. And to come back and make those kinds of statements shows that you're not going to be able, because right now it's about social cohesion. I think it was Isaac Doe who made the statement. Maybe they should have added that portion on the president's agenda instead of just arrest. Just put another R on top, rearrest, so that R represents reconciliation. The country is badly divided, and I agree that if we have anyone who is coming to flex his muscle to show that they are more rebel than the other person, I think they are misplaced. This is not the government for that. And this might cost him, in my opinion. Going back, by the way, Isaac Doe, the guy said anybody who touch his property, who loots his property, Zolizo said he would definitely, the same line of conversation or communication. Sometimes people know that some people might just be talking, but when you have demonstrated through your actions as being a rebel, that can, in the case of Zoizo, he's a military man. And sometimes when people like us who have served the military speak, it's different from others who would just be leveling threat without anything to back for it. So I think this guy made a mistake in his life, but that's his true character. If you ask me, he's a violent person. That's how he comes across. I don't think anybody will look at Conor Gray and say Conor Gray is a violent man. But one thing I can tell you, I have that military attitude in me, but I know exactly when to be a gentleman. And that what supersedes my military training. Because before ever I even speak to anybody, I think about, would I like to be, spoken to in that way? So normally, when a man makes a statement when they're angry, that's their true character. So if you ask me about this dude is scary. I think it will not be a good representation for Ambassador Buster. Hopefully not.
Thank you very much, Conor Gray. I want to come back to you, Eduardo. And Eduardo Hengo, I know you always got to hang around a little bit. I want us to play the entire video. I mean, Joel, it kind of
Eduardo, it's so not easy. Got you black.
Our notes in the back on the video, but I want you guys that listen, please listen. I want us to play the entire video. I want you to take something out because it's saying that. Are you talking to us, Isaac? Are you talking to us? Isaac, is he talking to us?
Yes, he's talking to you guys.
We're not hearing him.
Right now.
No, I'm saying the one I sent you, we took off the noise. So play the one I sent you is very clear. The one is a little noisy.
Oh, so y'all created something here.
No. We took all the noise from around it.
I understand. So let me go back and read. But Eduardo, I want to bring you into it. This is disturbing by the second, Eduardo. Francis, the Pope, was appointed to represent Jose Yima Bwaka, the president. And now all this thing coming up. Did somebody forget? Couldn't they just do a quick research, like Glennie said? Don't tell me that because it was the political season. Does he have the right to threaten somebody that he would kill them? Does he have the right to say, I'm a former rebel? No, let's just put this in context. He said it. He said, I'm a former rebel. I got men. Are you taking those men to the internal affair? Are you taking your rebel militant mindset to the internal affair? How can you break through with the tribal people? Like Mama was saying, how can you break through with the different tribes and different counties? So talk to me, Eduardo.
Stanton, and the former representative, now the appointed internal affairs minister, is not doing something that is not typical here in Liberia. Now, mine speaking on it in this fashion, not to excuse what he's done. I'm saying this to remind Liberians, if we don't prosecute what is happening in this country, this behavior is going to persist. Everybody does this. Everybody in the country does this. They hold a government position. They use that position to abuse everybody else around them. This is normal practice in this country. Come to Liberia, come and see for yourself. Everybody drives with a siren. Everybody has a police light. Nobody cares about anything. It was extremely exacerbated on the previous administration, and it's going to continue on this administration. People use power not to serve the people, but to abuse them. What Representative Yemeli is doing is typical. It's normal. It's been normalized in Liberia. And guess what? He's going to do it with impunity. He's going to get confirmed before the Senate. Because you know why? Everybody pays hay to the piper. Everybody wants to please whoever is in charge. And nobody's accountable to the people. You are not supposed to say, if you say it, it's, oh, you're not supposed to say they may not be men.
We lost the volume on Dwalu.
Yes.
Better?
Is it still coming through? Okay. So not everybody else going to turn the other cheek. And we'll continue to say this to people. We can't continue to run this country like this. Look, if a man cannot set himself apart, in a fashion that is befitting a public servant. That man should not be serving the people. This is not saying you should isolate people. What I'm suggesting is to set a standard for the country that lifts this country. But yet and still, we will appoint people not with the proper character, not with the proper pedigree to represent our country, to present an image to the world that we are picking our best and brightest. But we are picking from the bottom. We're scraping the bottom. And we are giving them to the people, and we expect prudence and duty and honor and diligence and excellence. It doesn't work that way. This is what you will continue to see.
I'm not saying, Dwalu, let me hang with you. I'm not saying this is about Francis Yamane now. He have expressed himself. Now we are seeing the true Francis. What say you then? If this appointment go through, the character of President Joseph Yuma Boakai, if he allowed this appointment to go through with such a record?
If I were advising President Boakai, I would tell you to withdraw this appointment immediately. Because look, everything that your appointee does reflects directly upon you. So this will be reflected against Honorable Boakai. And guess what? The opposition, if there is one that develops, they're going to use this against the president. Look, your legacy should not be tarnished in any way by anybody who serves beneath you. Get rid of them. The role of leadership is not to appease, gentlemen. It's to do the people's business. And sometimes we hesitate to do the people's business for the sake of not appeasing people around us. What would they say back in McLean in Lufa County, in Nima County? What would McLean members think? We got to get rid of that. If Liberia is going to grow, this has to be about Liberia 100%. A man's survival cannot be upon the state and be. Look, I don't know what are we looking around the globe and see how other countries are running. Government is not about appeasement. Government is about duty and honor. It's about service to the people. But we don't think about it that way. We think about appeasement more than we think about duty to the people. How will our people remember this? What would our people say? The focus is not to protect the people, rather is to protect one individual. It is lunacy to me personally.
All right, thank you, Dwalu. Mama, let me bring you in. The same question to you. What they say about President Joseph Yuma Boakai if this appointment goes through? Can you unmute? Thank you.
Come again, Senator, please.
What do you think this will say about President Joseph Yuma Boakai if this appointment goes through? You muted yourself. All right, Mama is up. Let me bring you Mr. Jackson. The same question, Mr. Jackson.
Yeah. Okay. In my earlier statement, I made it very clear that anytime you hire somebody, and especially in the political economy and in the position as important as the Ministry of Internal Affairs, which should be a projection of the policies, the character, and the moral imperatives of the president. You cannot have somebody who is clearly in need of anger management. I'm not a psychologist, but I mean, just on the surface, it looks like somebody who cannot control himself. And number two, he made it very clear that he was part of a rebel army with no training, that and rebel armies don't have a command and control structure that impose discipline by punishment and think in a logical order, but they basically kill people if they transgress in a rebel organization. So he's not used to a traditional court system, UCMJ and all of that, you know. So this guy who was part of a rebel army and who appears not to have been reformed. Stanton, this guy doesn't appear to be reformed. Okay? And one of the problems that we're having in Liberia today, and I've done a lot of studies on the DDRR process, right? The disarmament, the demobilization, and the rehabilitation and the reintegration. Stanton, they disarm those are young men and women, okay? They demobilize them, but they did not rehabilitate and they did not reintegrate them into the economy. And they only gave them like 3 days of psychosocial counseling. So a lot of the problems that we're seeing today, the dysfunction that we're seeing in Liberia today, is a culmination of those things that were not done between 2003 and 2005. And if we allow this man to slip through the crack and ascend to a position of authority where he will be managing people, it could be cataclysmic. It could do something that will be so disorderly, it will undermine the JMB government, and JMB should do the right thing. And one of the things I like about the GMB people is at least some of the people among themselves, like the cis juniors and others and the Dwalu them, they're calling Joe Boyka to order. Unlike some of us in the CDC who did not call Joe Boyka to order. They're calling JMB to order in the first 2 weeks of his presidency. And I mean, Asadou may disagree with me, but there was not the significant calling of order to President Weah in his first 2 weeks. And then, of course, you saw how things slipped, and of course,
and thank you very much.
Election based upon that.
Thank you, Isaac. Let me play this. Let me play the original video because I think someone edited it to increase the volume. Let me play the original video, which is about 2 minutes, 31 seconds.
With Farambou here, there will be Howard. Farambou has become a nightmare in this place. You call your security bosses, let the fucking Farambou get out of here. Or else I'll get the public. You're getting 100 security, you're getting 100 armed. We'll mob him to death. I'm saying it, you're recording. I'm tired. I'm tired. I find Farambou anywhere here today. I swear to my damn mother. Anywhere I find Farambou, as I stay here, as I leave this place, anywhere I find Farambou, I will attack him. And you can carry 10 armed, 200 armed to go defend him. Anywhere I find Farambou, in Foya they say today, I will attack him. I'm moving with men. I'm going to get 25 motorbikes. 333. That's 75%. Wherever Farambou move, I will move there. I'm done. Chief? I'm done. I'm going to keep it going for you.
Wait.
Yo.
Yeah, for us.
Where is Solomon's face now? Is the Farambou the only immigration officer that they can use? You know, continue to terrorize my people. And then I call Farambou today. I will mob you to death. I said it. You're arrested.
Chief, we let it respond. We hear your observation. We will pass it to our senior manager.
Thank you.
And what I want you to understand, Farambou is not a final decision maker.
It should not be anywhere right here. To terrorize my people.
Farambou et Marcel font des études pour les instants entiers. He and myself.
He got nothing to coordinate here.
Yeah, we like it.
I'm going to do.
So if Farambou,
maybe you don't know this. I'm a fucking old rebel. And that's how I protected my people, and that's why I made that
let me ask you, I want you to get one or two more. Please start your team. Sorry for the time of waiting. I can assure you, if we did an office and I did it records, one or two days will be 100% professional.
No problem with
There will be 100% professional. That is what
no problem with the police.
they will form Farambou to carry on anything that is not correct.
I don't want to say Farambou.
Will
Happy New Year.
Well, there you have it. I believe we understood this one very well. The man said he's an effing rebel. We're not saying it. He said it. You know, he would kill Farambou. Who is the Farambou? We're going to show Farambou picture. His relationship to CEC, his job. But put all that aside. How can you come and say I'm an effing rebel? Granny, before I go to Minister Doe, something is missing. Did somebody forget to show that video to President Boyka?
I don't know, maybe they
saw his name on the paper. When they saw his name, couldn't even remind the president? Why did people reject him? I heard that he was a representative. Why did they say no? Why did they kick him out? Now you want to put up your rebel posture? You want to put up your rebel beret? Forget that he's a UP man. Forget that he supported Black Eye. I said, talk to me, man. Welcome to the show, Prince. I said, talk to me. Ooh. I said, are you with us? Glennie, let's come back to you. Maybe Isaac is. Are you with us, Isaac?
Just came on, I think, Wolof. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. Talk to me, please.
Well, I'm not sure what's much more there to talk about, but it would have raises the question as to who's really in charge. Is the president in charge of all of these things? Can we blame all of these on the president? I mean, is he really in charge of everything that is going on? You just can't see what you may have expected. You can't even see a percentage of that. Like everything, almost like everything a person touches goes in flame. Who is really in charge? And I will tell you again, CEO, I know we talked about it. I've spoken with few persons within UP too that confirmed to me that the president's pick for the Ministry of Justice, Councillor Cooper Kura, will be recalled. Who is in charge? Now, that decision has already been taken. It's just a matter of timing, and that has vexed the PYJ. Like the person told me, it's been a scene of chaos. He's going to be recalled. You can take this from me. Who is really in charge?
Sorry, I missed you. Who going to be recalled?
The president's pick for the Ministry of Justice, Councillor Cooper Kura, will be recalled. This you can take from me. Prince Johnson is so pissed because of that. What is going on? Who is in charge? Is it the promise of the most educated people, the most advanced government, the most prepared people? Is it? What is going on? Like absolutely everything seems to be turning its back, going the other way around. This was not what the Liberian people voted on. I am not sure they expected any of this at all. Someone needs to slow down, like I've been saying. I do believe the United Party folks can do well. I do believe. The reason why all of these things are going on, in my mind, is because they want to prove so much that they know it all. So they are in this car with so much speed. They need to slow down. They will be okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Mommy, I got to go to the other people. Let me give you 30 seconds real quick. Before I do that, Mommy, before you come in, let me put Falabu picture up. That's Falabu. Okay? That's Falabu. I mean, folks from CDC know him very well. He's a seditious. I heard he's uncle to Finabondo. And we went into the story over here. He's Finabondo uncle. His name is Fayai Falabu. He was the inspector at the Bureau of Immigration. Okay, Finabondo got him that job. We understand that. But that's Falabu that Francis Humane said he want to mock, he want to kill. So now we are giving you pictures on these individuals, and I want you to understand, regardless your political affiliation, regardless, I mean, it's a fitting, Mame. I mean, what's going on, Mame?
I mean, let me point to two contradictions first before I take my first 5 minutes. As it do, you need to slow down, man. You keep contradicting yourself. You need to take a position on what's happening in the country, or you stop talking. You come here and say the government, since it's over 12 days, nothing happening, everybody's slow, we can't see any progress. 15 minutes in the show, you can't see the people running too fast, they need to slow down. What are you talking?
You need to
one
go
time
to
the thing is slow, nothing happening. 12 days in government.
I said, don't interrupt him now, please.
12 days, we can see no progress. Then in the same breath, in less than 15 minutes, the people running too fast, they need to slow down. That's the reason why they're making mistakes, they're running fast. You need to take a position. You can't be vacillating on what's happening. One day the people slow, another time they fast. and because they slow are the reason for the problem, and because they fast are the reason for the problem. Uncle Sam Jackson, President Bouakai lived in our country for over 50 years. Nobody saw him kill cat or rat. An appointment of somebody who appeared to be violent will not determine, does not reflect the character of the president. I disagree on that. But what I will agree with you on is the pick is a wrong pick, completely wrong pick in terms of his competence, the man being the legislature as representative. What was his position on fighting for decentralization that pushed the president to say, okay, yeah, he's been championing this cause, let's give it to him? Nothing you can see from him. Look at the posture as a former representative among his people. The pride he takes in for being elected is because he quote unquote defended his people and he's an old rebel. And you bring him to lead a process that's supposed to be heavily funded by donors, including the US government. Your entire decentralization 10-year plan and all the efforts around it were funded by USAID. You don't know that? The people who recommended normally don't know that? It is USAID, US government taxpayer money, that designed your entire 10-year implementation plan for decentralization. And they are prepared to put resources into it to get it working. And it takes somebody who take pride in calling themselves former rebel to preside over it. And you expect America to put their money into it. It's a wrong pick. I think the president, to show that he's not in support of this type of thing, to record a nomination. And it is not a wrong thing to make mistake, recognize a mistake and correct it. Even in the US, there are instances where president make mistakes and they recall appointments. If you insist on not correcting the mistake, that's where the problem lies. And that's where we call on the president's office to see reason to do proper vetting. And in the event where these slippages occur, correct it. Don't put up defense to this type of thing. Normally, by character, normally by experience, normally by track record, normally by education, it's not the best fit for the decentralization effort we want to see going on in Liberia. We call him, put him anywhere else, but not to the Ministry of Internal Affairs. USA will not put him. Will not do it.
Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Dr. Richardson.
So you want to give me 1 second to...
We will. Let other people come in. Just hold your thought, get pen and paper, and just write out that. Dr. Richardson, you're muted.
Yes. So I'm thinking that President Bouakai has to be highly sensitive to this mantra that he came under, rescuing the country. When we hear people, abusing power or presenting the kind of poster that Numali did, it does not resemble anything that involves rescuing a country from abuse or people who are power tripping. Especially in the era of Human Watch reports. I mean, the people are watching us all over. I won't be surprised if there's a report that might come out from the Human Watch department that include Numali's posture, his behavior. So I want to, admonish this government to be very careful about including such people in the government. The second thing is sanction. Sanction is a highly, aroused word that is circulating in Liberia. You cannot just be admitting like, oh, I'm a former rebel and, and be a part of a government and think that it's okay. So I think that President Bouakai has to be very sensitive about the people that he has in his government. My question then it goes to, is he incapable of overseeing the vetting team? What's going on there? What measures is he using to vet people? Because obviously they appear to have certain challenges. We have seen appointments after appointments where there's some kind of struggle or decision-making process where there's some kind of mishap that's occurring. So that's what I have to add.
Very much, Dr. Richardson. Plenty.
So I think I just went, maybe Prince, I don't know.
Okay, Prince. Granny skipping on this one. Prince,
no, I'm not skipping. I mean, I think Prince been here for a minute.
Thank you, Glendy. I appreciate it. Stanton has his ways.
Actually, I should have gone before him, but I'm waiting.
Well, you won't go. You can go.
Okay, I'll go. Stanton, here's the thing. I think Isaac Doe needs to slow down for real. This era is a breath of fresh air. At least we have a government now that can replace or drop somebody based on something that was not known that came up. We were singing song behind President Weah for ages to get rid of the finance minister and other bad actors. Isaac Doe were cheering for him to keep those people on. No shot at Isaac Doe, but you know what? This is the era we're looking for, where when people determine that if a position by government is not the right fit, and that government will take action right away. That's the moment, that's the democracy we've been waiting for. At least we'll have that day now where we can tell President Buckeye, this guy.
Can I interrupt you though? Can I interrupt you, Ed? Ed, I beg you, let me interrupt you. So let me understand you better, you and Mame. Because it happened under George Weah. So Isaac Doe shouldn't speak on it?
No, Isaac Doe should speak on it, but you should also acknowledge that there's a change. It's not the same. It's to recognize a change that you know, unlike President Weah, President Buckeye would take an action that he did not know. I don't think the woman knew all of this. That's why confirmation process is all about. Bring the person's character, so when we get, look, I will be urging people to start publishing some of the CV and the resume of these folks who have been appointed, so we can know that those who are lying, those who are falsifying, so we can know them, you know, up here. Because, you know, definitely character, when we say resume, is not only about what you've done in school, it's your character, a complete review of who you are as an individual. I don't think the woman knew this aspect about this was an isolated incident that occurred. And now that it has come to light because of confirmation hearing, definitely it's going to take action on it. So I don't see why we should be beating the woman on this issue. I think we're happy that if people have more, let them bring them out. That's why we want people to publish their resume. And definitely Ambassador Buckeye is a guy, from my observation, that will not let your dirty character dent his own 50 plus years of experience in the public sector. It will let you go regardless of your connection with him. And we've seen it. Why are we blaming him right now?
Well, Colonel Gray, nobody blaming JMB though. Don't say why are we blaming him. The issue is that even so, I think I would be fair tonight. JMB appointment, as he appoint those folks, we should be very straight up.
But you're not.
Who's that talking to JMB? Say, okay, let me go check behind Stanton, like Glendy said. Oh, Mr. President, give us 3 days. We'll come back with a comprehensive report on this.
Madam Salib dismissed her brother.
I'm not talking about Madam Salib. I'm not talking about Madam Salib.
No, I just
Madam Salib did that, and she had all her children in there doing best, and she took responsibility. But let's move to Prince Maxwell. Welcome to the show, Prince. You know, Prince, I don't hate you, but I rather sometimes feel that you gave me a hard time. So welcome.
I have to give you a hard time. You give me a hard time as well. But still, it's good. It's good to be back. Listen, I mean, let me just make a pivot a little bit. I don't know Francis Imele, but there are a few things within the statement that he made that I jotted down. 3 keywords: 1, attack; 2, death; 3, rebel. Those are words that were used during our Civil War a lot.
Yep.
So it is important that we take note of that. I understand he was angry. Sometimes when you're angry, you say a lot of things that you don't mean. But as a public official, as a representative or senator or whoever you are, and you insisting that the people should record you on video and these things are said, you should know that it will come back in the future to bite you. And it's important. But this is what I care about today. Credible vetting. I care very much about credible vetting. First and foremost, let me say to the presidential team that the pace of appointment has picked up. We're seeing that the pace of appointment has picked up. That's good. at least is bringing some relief to the Liberian people, that you can see that government starting to take shape and in motion to meet their expectations. So that's good. But in between there should be a pillow for credible vetting. Now, let me just state what happens when credible vetting is not done. One, there is an immediate lack of credibility. Two, there is a clear diminishing political capital on the part of the president and the leading political party. Three, there is an increased opposition towards the presidency and the leading political party. Four, there are difficulties filling positions because nobody will trust the president. Nobody won't put a name in because now they are all afraid. And five, there will be an erosion of public trust and the relationships the president and his entire cabinet, including the leading party, have developed over the years. So it is very, very important that those that are around the president step up their credible vetting process so as to protect the presidential appointing power. Because if that is not the case, the president will have a major problem projecting his presidential power domestically. And I don't think the United Party wants that, especially owing to the fact that President Boakai has amassed enough political capital during these elections. They don't want the president to lose that. They don't want the president to lose the face of the Senate or the House of Representatives, or those that are around him that have supported him in all of these years. They don't want that. So please, the credible vetting process should become a stronger pillow so that this issue of recall appointment and withdraw appointment is diminished, because now it's becoming the two words being used around almost all of the appointments are coming out of the presidential appointing committee. Oh, this person is bad, withdraw them. This person is bad, recall them. That should stop. That's my concern.
I thank you guys. So let's wrap this thing up. I'm going to ask you a straight up question. You got 30 seconds to answer. I will start with you, Dr. Richardson. Do you think President Joseph Yeman Boakai will recall Francis Yumani?
No. I don't
Blendy?
think he will.
I mean, I don't think he should. I think that they should go forward and let the Senate do their work.
Mr. Jackson?
Well, I disagree with my sister, Madam Juniors, and because the thing is, like, I don't know whether President Boakai had this information, and now the information is out there, and he must do the honorable thing and withdraw his nomination. If he doesn't withdraw his nomination, it will clearly indicate that he agrees with this unseemly behavior of Mr. Yumali.
Thank you very much. Ambula?
I think he will do it, but I'm not optimistic. I'm not very optimistic. I'm just thinking that's something he should do, but I'm not very, 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 very optimistic he will do. I will put my bet on the Senate, especially so where they have a record of denying a presidential appointee on the basis of making similar statement, and that was Zoli Zou of the CDC. That would be my trump card. That because the Senate did it to Zoli Zou, they would do it to Yumali. I'm not optimistic the president will withdraw his nomination.
Colonel Gray?
I think the woman should use this to buy social capital, in the sense that he needs that capital for his credibility. This is how you start shaping the public opinion about your decisiveness in certain things. And this has come up, I don't think the woman knew, but now that it's out in the public, hey, just do the honorable thing and say, hey, man, I can find some place else for you, but this is not a fit for you. And then let him go,
Thank you. Prince Maxwell?
Stanton, I don't think I'm in a position to question the president's ability to appoint because it's constitutional. What I'm in a position to do is to remind those that are around the president to sit down and have a sober moment, because this should be an inflection point. This should be an inflection point.
Record. It's not that you're not questioning his ability to appoint. Do you think he will recall this appointment?
That's what I'm saying. I think this is an inflection point for those that are around the president to think hard and fast about the next steps.
Fatima, welcome to the show. You met us where we are. Do you think President Joseph Yema Boakai will recall the appointment of the Intendant FM Minister?
I think he will. Remember, the president came with a mandate from the people for this change. And so if anyone is questionable, I think the president should make the right decision for the people. And I think he will do the right thing and he will recall him.
Thank you, Fatima. Isidore, take us home on this conversation, please.
Can I ask a question quickly?
Yes, Dr. Richardson.
Do we know the relationship between the president and Numale? That's
yes,
why.
First call.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
first
That makes a difference in why I think.
Right. So that's what I wanted to say.
Okay.
I think the president should, but the president will not because of few things. Number one, nobody knows Mr. Francis more than the president. They are first cousin. He's from Lofa. He's not going to recall, but I really hope he does.
And how we verifying the information?
Let me go ahead and close on this one, which is so important, folks. I hope and I will encourage President Joseph Yema Boakai to record. I would beg the president, for the sake of the people of Liberia and the condition on which we supported him and ran a very one of the campaign ever seen by Sam Jackson, because he's the oldest on the show. I will hope that President Joseph Yema Boakai recall, regardless of relationship, family tie, this is about Liberia. And I do believe that President Joseph Boakai will watch this. And I don't think it should go to the Senate. Honor Prince Yedu Johnson, who just requested a video. He just texted me and said, Stanton, please send me that video. He's the chair. He on that committee. I can say to you, I just sent him the video. The co-chair is Edwin Mervyn Snow. I just sent him the video also. The pro tem, Yombli Kanga Lawrence, I sent her the video. The chair on foreign affairs, Darius DeLone, I sent him the video. The reason why I'm saying on the video, I don't want anyone to say I didn't see the video. You did it to Zodi Zo. Let justice be done to all. But before the Senate can reject Mame, I think like Colonel Gray said, the president should recall. He will score a political capital if he can do so. And I hope President Joseph Yema Boakai can have an immediate recall, because that video is just not right. That video is bad. It's disturbing. It's disturbing, like Mame said, on the international front. For you to look at your fellow Liberians and say, I will mock him to death. I am an effing rebel. We are in 2023 when he made that video. Now we're in 2024. Are we still pointing to rebels? Do we need rebels recognition beyond Joseph Yema Boakai? Do we need a minister rebel? He said, I have men. And that's what I said. I would bring in another Jefferson Koji that Minister Asido can relate to. I would bring in another Jefferson Koji that would black traffic and say, I'm a rebel. I have guns. I have men. Amen. Is that the change we asked for? Regardless who the gentleman is, regardless what he did, come on. Liberia is a country of law. It's not a country of rebels. Let's share this with our international partners. And let's say, this is your new Internal Affairs Minister, a former rebel. Let's share it. Let's give it to folks in Washington, D.C. and say, this is the new Internal Affairs Minister that was appointed by President Joseph Yema Boakai, Mr. Clean Hand, 50 years of experience. Might know exactly what he's saying. People have this clip already. They begin to ask questions. And I hope and I pray that what we fought for, something like make us to be the most hated person from certain black in Liberia, that they want to skin up and just put us up on Broad Street Ducal. They shouldn't let this thing go easy. And that's why we'll continue to fight. And that's why we must fight. And I hope and I believe, as I trust in President Bouakai, that the decision will be taken. That no man will be on our land. And this too will come to an end. Regardless of family, relationship, close tie. What he said was bad. So folks, I say thank you. I want us to now move on to the next conversation. Let's get up. We want to welcome everyone. We saw today, I'll start with you, Sister Glennie JJ. We saw today, Glennie, what's her name? Baby Picky girl, Picky boy. I don't know where the Picky for. But we saw today that the chairman, he was among some folks, and those people want to demonstrate something similar that we're talking. Let's just play that video very quick. And let's just take 1 minute each on this video as we listen to what was going on. This is the chairman video. There we go. Today. Dama, you got it? Can you play it?
At this place where you are and what you've done for this country, you are a stakeholder. I want to say to you, the president has the power to appoint. This is constitutional right. And you as a citizen, you have a right to express how you feel. So what I would say to you, even if you want to exercise the democratic rights, to express to him how you feel, you're welcome to go and express how you feel. Don't do it in a violent way. He's the president of the republic. We put him there. All of us are right here, pay the price, and Joe Biden to become president. Yo. When you tell you not have people wake up, Zayo. People wake up, Zayo. And so I would say to you this morning, don't worry about me, I'm okay. I'm very fine.
We are not.
But we are not fine.
Yeah, you're
But if
fine.
you are not fine, I would say to you, go express yourself. You are not satisfied. Go to the president.
The hope of the ordinary people depends on you.
You are not satisfied. You are not satisfied. Nobody thought that Unity Party was going to win this election. Ordinary people like you took on the challenge. Oh yeah. Your community, some of you were threatened. Oh yeah.
Grandu Kande. No go soon.
See, I want to this one.
I lost my house. I nearly lost my family.
Yes.
But you see, JMB president,
Yes.
finally become president.
Where?
We will want him to succeed. It's too early. I know how you feel, but it is also your right to go there and tell him how you feel. Do it peacefully. He's the president of the republic. He must be accorded the respect that is due him. Don't worry about me. I'm okay.
Whoa, but I'm going to take care of.
If he will change his mind for any service, we are here. But let GMB and any Liberian leader be reminded that it's no longer going to be business as usual.
No way. Thank you.
When the people put you there, you got to listen to them.
Yes.
So go and express your feeling, how you feel about this and what's going on. He's a wise man. He's a man who listens.
Yeah.
I don't think he will see you at your gate and ask the soldiers to beat you. You are the bosses. From GMB to everybody. We wait for you.
Sure.
We wait for you. So if you're not happy about anything, that will express it. Going forward, let Liberian leaders know that the main bosses are the people. And when the people are not happy, the leader will not go well.
Yes.
That's what play we pass.
Rescue mission business.
That's what play we pass. That's what play we pass.
So I want to say to you, go there. You must demand you want to see the president.
Okay. Yes.
Sure. When it was time for the campaign,
Yes.
he came to you and said, "You're being president, you will see what I will do."
For sure.
And you gave him the mandate.
Yes.
Go there and demand you want to see him.
Just be peaceful.
I am very sure he's going to listen to you.
Yeah.
Don't be violent. We made the president. He will listen to us.
Okay.
Go in peace. When I'm needed, I will come and speak.
Thank you.
We are all the ordinary people who brought about this revolution for your upliftment, and no human being, born or woman, will hijack this revolution.
No
They will make it for their family. Most of you are not even in this for yourself, of your children you did it for. And it's too early for people who did not even witness what happened.
Nothing.
They only were there when we were in the poopy water. And I know the president will listen to you.
I'm sorry, thank you, Baba.
Wow. Sam Jackson. That's big. Wow. That's horrible. That's the chairman speaking. I listened to just some of it, but now I have the time to listen to all of it. 4 minutes, 36 seconds, Sam. But his last line, where were they when we were in the poo-poo water? Come on, Uncle Sam, talk to me. That's powerful.
Look, I've been in this life since I was 21 years old, 1974. And the political order has not changed since 1974. That's 50 years ago. The path to power in Liberia is overwhelmingly for one purpose: to get a job. And that's how politicians, successive politicians, have managed this process in my lifetime. And it's a very dangerous situation because it gives people false hopes and false aspirations and heightened expectations that can never be satisfied. The public sector has 70,000 employees. The workforce in Liberia, people between the ages of 16 and 65, is about a couple of million. There's no way that any government coming to power can absorb the multitudes of people. No matter whether you stepped in poo-poo, no matter whether your life was threatened, no matter what happened to you, you are not. There is no obligation for a governing administration to give all partisans a job. The only obligation of a governing administration is to create an enabling environment for people to be entrepreneurs, to use their skills, to use their education. Unfortunately, because the economy is so small and the private sector is not used, okay, by most Liberians to look, Stanton, let's face it, the richest Liberians in the country got their wealth because of their association with the public sector, either as officials of government working in the public sector or as people who were given special preferential treatment to get petroleum licenses, to get construction contracts, to get other economic benefits. I'm hoping, let me finish, Senator. I'm hoping that this particular video be instructive and be a demonstration to the whole phalanx of Liberians out there that ascension to political power by your candidate does not mean an automatic improvement in your life like getting a job. This is what this shows me. And this is what I've been preaching for all of my life, that we expand opportunities in the private sector so as not to give people false hopes. Because if you do that, you undermine political stability, you undermine the effectiveness of the governing administration, and you put undue pressure on this government to act in ways that will not be good for the stability of the country.
Let me bring in Acid Doe. Acid Doe, I want to just put you and Mr. Jackson aside this video from where you sit. Talk to us. It's powerful, it's scary, but talk to us.
Well, politics, politics. Hey, Allah. But before I go quickly, I know my brother, I don't know, Mame just left. Okay, Mame, he's just here. You know, Mame, if you will notice one thing about me, I don't usually respond to panelists. Like when you say a thing, that's you. I don't go back to you. I wish you follow that example. But I know you said something earlier on. I wanted to prove there's no move of kind of a guy thing here. Let me just tell you. If they ask you to go to MyGivi, you're supposed to take the road from red light. If you took a road going to Buchanan and you're running fast, it does not mean you are doing anything. The people say go MyGivi, they didn't say go on that side. So people running fast does not mean they're getting any result. They're doing different things, running fast. So that too much on notebook, no everything, slow it down a little bit. Now to the to the issue, CEO. I feel sorry for the chairman. I know the chairman is in this issue of $365,000, of which we've not gotten a report yet, although he promised to make that available to the public on Monday, the morning of the SONA. Up to now, we have not seen any. And seeing this video, I was, I felt bad. I just shook my head. I'm saying, like politics, for the 6 years we've been there, so when it happening, I can just be like, this is crazy. Now, the only thing you could see from that video is a person who is frustrated. It tells you that it was his thought that he would have been in charge, but he's absolutely out of the way. It is as if, decisions are being made and the party of the chairman is nowhere in the mix. He doesn't know how the decisions are being made. What we know very credibly, though, is that his intent was to have been sent to NPA, but NPA is like Donov. So, it's like, I just feel sorry for him. I don't know what much more to say, but it only says politics is just politics. I'm sorry. Reverend Tape, you just need to bring more people to sing songs to your house, but it's not easy, my papi. That's all I can say. That outrageous laughing. That's outrageous. Where's CEO? Somebody else can go. For me, I know politics. I know what will happen. People will start. People will soon start going all around this place. We know. That Moke War Bamboo Jaw, that's the definition of our politics here. So you understand. I will also help the Reverend with a few more people to come and sing to his house. Maybe something.
You too happy for this government downfall, Isaac?
Oh no, that already sing. I've said it from that origin. After, let me tell you something. After we did not win, I was the first government official, to release a statement congratulating the president at that time, the president-elect, and pledging my own support in any ways. The first person, and in a matter of fact, I always came and say, we'll be in Liberia. I can go back, anytime I want to, but I don't know we'll be here. But the truth of the matter, if the government or the president who do something worth commending, we will do. Yesterday, I was here talking about Cyril Beslow, that in my mind, felt was one of the best appointments he's made. I mean, it is from him. I couldn't be defending anything from United Party. I'm not in United Party. The vice president is my big brother.
Since he is not here, I say I'm gonna go. I mean, I want to draw a parallel process to your passive aggressiveness, to what I also saw with what I saw with Tapet, and Fatima laughing because she knows exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. On the one hand, you say I congratulate this government, but on the other hand, you are laughing and giggling like for the downfall of this.
I really think I've always laughed, even when CDC was in power, even cussing us.
No, it's a different. I say it's a different kind of laughter you're doing right now. And let me tell you, I was in opposition to this comment, but I think our demeanor, I think is different. But let me go back to drawing the parallel process. I see Mr. Tappet, Reverend Tappet, as being passive aggressive as well. I see that he's in a position of leadership. For goodness sake, he is the chairman of the Unity Party. I actually expected that he would have called, he and President Bokar would have the type of relationship where they could talk to each other and tell him what the people are feeling, the people who are out there protesting. Yes, he said some good things. The people have the right to protest. However, he was saying this is why I seem to be passive aggressive. It's like, where were they when we were in the poo-poo water? Where were they when we were in the poo-poo water? He is talking as if there was, again, an expectation of something for supporting the president. He said that I lost my home in this whole process. He also talked about, pay the price. Some of you have paid the price for Bokar becoming president. These are all also like, so we need something, we're not paying the price, so you got to compensate us for doing this. He said that when the people are not happy, leaders do not succeed. Those were the things that he was talking about. But on the other hand, he was saying, but you didn't do this because you wanted something. You did it because you wanted for your cheering. So it was mixed messages, this kind of passive aggressiveness that I'm hearing him say. And please, Reverend Tappet, you know your name, as Mr. Doe disappointingly said, is already involved in the $365,000 unilaterally took a decision to give the chairperson of district $1,000, as you told us, and you told us you're going to come here and give us a report. Centrum did take, he took the responsibility of saying that you did send him a report, although we have not seen it yet. So please go and speak to President Bokar, talk to him one-on-one, man on man, woman on woman, or whatever it is, gender on gender, he, she, whatever, all the definition, and connect. So that's what I have to say, Stenson. I'm next. I don't know who was next.
Thank you very much. I don't know. I said it's done, right?
Yeah, I said done. I came next, and then.
Okay, then we'll go to Bombay. Let's take this thing right. But guys, we got to push something. I said brought something up, and I dug deeper on Councillor Cooper Kerr. We were discussing next.
Yeah.
If his position had been recalled, we have to discuss it. What's actually going on, and Liberians need to know this. I don't know where Asa took the story from. I just asked a couple of questions right now, and it seemed to be Cooper Kerr, Councillor Cooper Kerr, appointment to the Justice Ministry is on pause. It's on pause. So we were discussing this, but let's finish the chairman video. Conor Gray.
It was one of those political scientists who define politics as who gets what, when, and how. And if we go back and look at how Luther Tappet himself became elected as chair of the Unity Party, it was that time in that crossroad where people like Amir Modad, Mo Ali, were at somehow silent odds with the president. President Bokar at the time, but they managed that process well. And the advent of Luther Tappet brought some temperance into the whole process. In other words, he was able to weather the storm, or calm the storm down, and that calmness was what propelled the Unity Party to win the election, because a divided political party like the CDC, for instance, it may not have seemed that they were divided out here, but internally there were so many fracases that caused their own demise or defeat. But Luther managed that process well. And in the process, he lost his home. He paid dearly. Look, no matter how people like to sugarcoat their support for political parties, you are there to get your interests taken care of. I don't care how you look at it. Some of us stopped supporting someone because we felt it was going to be this kind of moment that when they win, we who were there pushing this boat out of the water will not benefit. So we start making the noise early, and that's exactly what happened. It hurts. You know, I came from Liberia. I took one phrase from there. This thing can hurt. Look, there is nothing more hurtful than when you have won something, you struggle. I don't care how, Dr. Richardson look at this. People in politics because of what they can get. That's the number one human need in life. The moment you're born, you start crying. It's because you need something. You're not just crying because you were born. You're born because at that point, your need starts right there. Luther Tappe expected, and he should rightfully expect. The like of Moale expected. They should rightfully expect. When CDC won the election, the like of Zagama, Ato Zagama, chair of ANC USA, was thrown upon. A lot of people are disgraced. It's shameful. After you fought for something, this is a revolution. And then people that were not even saying a word out of nowhere just surface, and then they take it's like buffet ground holy. I think we should say that word in Liberia. It's hurtful. It is hurtful. And I think Tappe, being a man of God, I think should just pray over this so that it doesn't lose his temperament. But who would not talk? You took my baby from me, man. I think I agree with him on this side. They should not look. We were talking about Stephen Johnson and the likes yesterday, and this is just one instance of that of yesterday's discussion.
What's going on, Ed? What's going on? I mean, again, this is the chairman of the party. The chairman, like Nathaniel Fallow Magay, brought CDC to victory.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the chairman of the party. Luther Tappe.
I
don't know if it was true that what Minister Isaac Doe said, because I don't want to believe in Prince Maxwell, but he said Tappe is supposed to go to NPA, National Port Authority, and it's like cut through no blood. Somebody from Minnesota came and just took the position. I mean, is it true? I mean, let's be fair with our fellow Liberians. This is what makes Spoon talk, right, Glendy? We're going to say everything. There's no need to hide this stuff. I mean, but Tappe now standing tall like a general. He's not defeated. He's standing tall. He's saying we fought for this. We were in the poo-poo water and we saw it. What position left? What can you give Tappe? I mean, are you going to give Tappe a position? Now, what's the best position out there that is left? For the chairman that brought you to victory. I mean, let's be serious for a minute now. Does he deserve a job? Hell yeah. If he asks, if he put his, he should be the first, actually. I expected Tappe to be on the A list, the first. Some folks around, let's say the truth, folks. I understand Mama would beat me on this one. Is he qualified? Prince Maxwell? I mean, go ahead, Prince.
No, my time.
Oh, Mama, that your turn, or Prince?
My time.
Oh, go ahead, Mama. Go ahead.
You called Mohammed, then you came to
come I thought Mama was done. Sorry. Go ahead, Mama.
You called me for me to talk, then the other person came. But anyways, that originally, when people form political parties, it's not about the standard bearer. The theory around is group of people come together to take power and lead. But one person is the president. So it is not about, oh, you are into A, you are supporting the man because you wanted something. The political institution came to power, came together to take power and lead. But one man will be the head on deciding how that leadership is structured. So when people win election and start to make requests about their contribution to in leadership, it is not transactionary. They established the party, they campaigned because they wanted political power to lead. But only one person can lead at a time. So that person will provide the direction. So qualified and competent partisans, loyal not to the president, but loyal to the agenda, should be given the chance to perform, to deliver. They too have different political ambitions along the line for the future. They want an opportunity that they can reference and say, 6 years ago, I served as minister. I transformed agriculture. I expanded rural production. On that basis, I'm qualified to be a senator. That's why you see them asking. Some people say, oh, we campaign, I won. I served as head of the National Port Authority. The profit there over the last 10 years was 2 million. When I took over in 6 years, I took it to 15 million. I'm a good businessman. So they're looking for that opportunity. It's not that they are into transaction, no. So I wanted to say that. And when we campaigning, there are different kinds of people in the campaign. Some of them are in the room making decisions. You will never see them on the field. Some of them are in the field at another level. You will not see them in the quarters. Others are in the quarters. You will not see them in the room. But there are some other people. They're not in the room. They're not on the field. They're not in the quarter. You will never see them. So when the president is making decisions on how he distributes power, how he distributes job, he factors in, or she or he factors in, those who were in the room, those who were on the field, those who were on the water, and those who you did not even see. But they play critical and important role. In some instances, if they did not exist, you might not have won the election. Until Stanton started to talk last minute to time, who knew how important he was to this process? Until he spoke, until somebody spoke and he came to clarify, nobody will know. Until he brought the spoon platform and make it like an agenda, on the platform for an agenda for JMP, nobody will know how immense his contribution was to this process. And if you are looking for a job again, you say, well, what I mean, that come from you getting a job. But here you did not know because you were not in the room, you were not on the field, you were not in the quarter. You were one of those people who you did not see. So the president is in that position of appointing people and giving people jobs, factoring all those things in. The jobs are limited. Nobody should make it real. There's some rocket scientists to say people will fight over job. People will fight over job because the jobs are limited. The people who need a job, they are moved all over the world. It happens. The only thing we can call on people to do is do it responsibly. And like the chairman did today, the chairman was not in the protest. People were angry because they're looking up to him. That's their connection. They're looking up to him. So the fact that they're not seeing in a position where he can look up to them or he can look down to them, they are concerned. He only came to tell them, hey, slow down. If you want to express your concern, express it in a way where you are not violent, but you have your right to express your concern. So you are not protesting. It's a legitimate concern. Like we put it out for everybody. I don't like to be calling individual names because I know a lot of competent, qualified people. So I just call it competent, qualified, loyal people should be given the opportunity to serve. Not on the basis of the fact that they campaign, but because they qualify, they're competent, and they're loyal to the agenda that brought them to power. And President Bouaka is just one person in that structure with the opportunity to preside over it.
The Honorable Ambula Mame, thank you very much. Prince Maxwell.
Yeah, Stanton, I do appreciate the chairman of the party's statement of, I agree that he recognized the effort of those that have contributed. But the statement being made, I think we have to look at it from a political lens. We have to look at it from a strategic political lens. Because at this point right now, it's clearly political. We know fully well that the United Party has a base. CDC has its base, United Party has its base. And right now, there is a symptom or a growing dissatisfaction and dissent within the United Party base. And this is not good. Those politicians or political scientists around United Party, they need to recognize that immediately and start to take positions on this, because eventually this is going to empower the CDC base. They should not forget that CDC base is still alive. We have one of the former Deputy Minister, Isaac, here, who is doing his job that he needs to do, to send signal to his base that CDC is not dead, by reminding the current government of things that the past government did and mistakes that the past government made that the current government should not make. So we need to be cognizant of that. Most importantly, we have to look at United Party cohesion. There has to be a strategy within the United Party right now to quickly inject political cohesion in the base. George Warner, the former Minister of Education, wrote a brilliant piece on his Facebook page. Everybody should go and read it. It's mesmerizing to read. And it's very reflective of the current growing situation around the appointment, around the disenfranchisement, around the dissatisfaction of the things that are going on. Which those political operatives right now that is around and planning around this whole United Party restructuring, rebuilding, they also need to be cognizant of the analogy of standing too close to the elephant. Most of them are too close to power. They need to step back. And by stepping back, I'm injecting Mohammed's position of the three separate different groups of people that have been operative to bring the president to power: the trench individuals, the peripheral power people, and the central power people. By not looking in the direction of the United Party chairman's statement, United Party is weakening its power base. And that would be detrimental to the president's power projection. They have to reconsolidate that, reshape that, and refocus that. These young men should not be going there to the party to want to protest. There is a partisan relationship, dependency, clientelistic understanding of the relationship they built for the party. They want a return on their investment. And people have to understand that. That's politics. That's how it's going to play out. That is not wrong. It's happening all over the world. Even in the great United States of America, that is democratic politics. So United Party has to reconsolidate, refocus, and pay attention to their base a little bit more so as to consolidate that power that they need for the president. That's my position on that.
Okay, thank you very much, Prince. Fatima?
Well, I'm not in no position to tell our CEO who needs to be on the show or who doesn't need to be on the show. But the fact remains that whenever I hear Blama Doe say something, Isaac Doe say something, I just stand.
Sure you're sorry, or you just intentionally call him Blama Doe?
I saw his name all of a sudden. But anyway, when I see him acting as Dr. Francine Richardson quotes passive aggressively, I tend to realize that in the early days of the CDC, you would have never heard anybody on any such platform saying anything negative. This government has just been in office for 2 weeks. I feel that the Dr. Luther Tappe said some really good things today. People don't run campaigns because they want, just to run campaigns. They do it because they want change. And if they are able to participate in the efforts of the change, they want to do so. I think there were a lot of people that are not satisfied with what happened. Our government in Liberia, you're either in the middle class or no class, either rich or poor. There is no really no middle class we're trying to work towards it. So I come to Mr. Isaac Jones not in any position to tell us in this early day what should be done in this government, what shouldn't be done in this government. Things are moving on. People have the right to talk to voice out action. We were young fighters. People fought for change that they wanted. Not everybody will want a position, of course. I heard that, which is true. If people were empowered, would that be so much in a hurry to want to come and work for them? Or most of them what for? Some of them are sick.
You are breaking up, Fatima.
Am I?
Adjust your microphone.
Your internet, your microphone, something is so bad.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you guys hear me now?
It's better now.
I think my voice itself too. But I was the president and the chairman need to sit down. The chairman has a good heart, the president is a good president. They need to sit down, they need to work on the details of what's going on. The country needs to survive. Our people.
Let's come back to you. Get out and come back in. Maybe you'll be better. Just get out, come back in, then we'll bring you back in. But I told you she was anywhere. She said the president and the chairman need to sit down, and I agree with that fact. Look, seriously, I do. The president and the chairman need to sit down. Let me say something.
Okay.
Go ahead, Glennie.
No, I hadn't gone. I just wanted to make sure you knew that.
Okay. I don't know why Acid don't name haven't changed to Blamado. Go ahead, Glennie.
Well, I hear what everybody is saying, and everybody has said a little bit of everything that describes what happened with Reverend Topper today. I want to agree with Dr. Francine that his actions were passive aggressive. You could tell that there's something with him that is upsetting. He's upset about something. And so in his conversation, he's also laying blame and saying, don't come to me, go to the president. And I think also one of the things I wrote down is that he's also injecting himself in the stuff, like, look at the things I went through. And even me, it's almost like you can read between the lines. Even me, I haven't gotten anything yet, and I'm not a part of the powers there may be. So go to the president's house. I think as a chairperson, I think redirecting them to Joseph Boakai was not the appropriate thing to do. I think he should have done what he could to calm them down and say, I will speak to the president about your concerns, and then you all will hear from us. But if you're telling them, go to the president's house, y'all go talk to him, don't come to me, and then you're also in the same, I think I hate to use the word, but as I listen to him and I listen to it over and over today, I could hear a little bit of him being insightful. Because when he's saying to them, my house got burned, I'm not benefiting. We were in the poo-poo water, the other people were not in the poo-poo water, don't come to me, y'all go ask the president. I think for him, and someone else said it, as a chairperson, and I also want to connect it to what Mamle said, it's a group of people that has made Unity Party win. And it's a group of people that's in a hierarchy that can redirect people's attitude and functions. So I think it would have been good for him to say, okay, let's talk about it. What are your concerns? I will take it and then go and talk to JMB. But this thing that's brewing in Unity Party, and we're coming back again, they need to stop. They need to examine what's going on. They need to take a retrospective look of from before they want to now and see what can we do to fix this before a lot of stuff spill over. But it's not looking good. And I think Reverend Topper should take a step back and go and talk to the president, because he's the chairperson, he's the head of the Unity Party, and see how he can redirect all of the focus of the people. But that conversation today for me was not a good one to have with people who are probably all riled up because they have nothing, they've not benefited yet.
Let me say this to you, and let me say this to everyone. Then we'll bring that to Richardson. We got to move over to the next conversation, which is representative of crowd. But let me say this. 2 days ago, today is what? Today is Friday or Thursday? Thursday, right? No, today is Friday. Yeah, that's what happens when you get too much on your mind. So Thursday, Wednesday you have some Unity partisan, Mr. Jackson, the old generals, people that were in the poo-poo water that Reverend Tapper talking about today. You have 10 or 12 of them going to the Capitol building, asking senators to get involved as to why they have not been appointed. I will say as it is. I will say some bad people, a lot of people send me a message, say, Stanton, why you can't talk in the back? Have you ever seen me talking in the back? Like the question I asked some of them, I said, I'll go ask Glennie. I know when Glennie, people went to Liberia, and when she said she didn't want a man no more. Have I ever talked in the back? I never talk in the back. Glennie must say I had a long conversation today.
You see that man? You see him?
When I come back to the topic,
with him.
That's my sister. But Mr. Jackson, seriously, you have Mo Ali. I will name them. You have Steven Johnson. You have Patrick Horner, Warren Smith, Jalaba. There were like 10 to 12 of them. And I asked my reporter why you couldn't take the picture. He said, SCO, I forget. They went to Senator Dillon's office.
Mm-hmm.
You know what is Senator Dillon's office? Amara Kone, Big Brother Amara, because Mamba said I'm calling Big Brother Amara Kone. That's a tradition thing. Amara Kone was there. Amara Kone almost shed tears. You know who else was there? My reporter was telling me, Edwin Snow was there. They said Edwin Snow shook his head. Let the Liberian people know. You know where they went at next? They went to the vice president office. Mr. Jackson, this is unprecedented. It has never happened before. That the party, the structure, they are not begging for bread. They are not begging for bread.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to say, you know, I'm frustrated. I'm not frustrated. I got trust in President Bouaka. I believe in President Bouaka. That's why we fight with everything. Whether now or 20 years from now, I still respect President Bouaka and I still love him as a father and uncle. And I think he would deliver for Liberia. But for the reporter to tell me that these guys, them going from office to office to office, have you seen that Samuel Ellington, Sam Bouaka town, Sam Chatelain? Let me learn with this because that's why I call your name. I'm coming to you. I don't think I'd rather go back to what Fatima said. It's time to call a mini retreat. It's time to call a mini retreat and get the house in order. It's time to give people hope again and show the partisan. Look what they said to how you call him, Reverend Tappe. What the song was singing? What is song? I think Fatima, you know that song. What the song was singing to Reverend Tappe? Can somebody help us?
Tiki licky, that small play we pass for the one that small play we pass.
And that's the song. Tiki licky, that small play we pass. If it have meaning. Let me bring you Sam Jackson. Talk to us, and then we'll wrap up the Thank you, Uncle Sam. Hold on, you write that to Richardson. Come in.
Mr. Jackson, can I just borrow 2 minutes of your time? I just wanted to ask.
Take as much time as you want. Take as much time as you want.
Thank you. Mommy, I'm a little bit concerned. First of all, I agree with you. Competent and qualified candidates should be hired in this process. But I'm having some difficulty and some challenges and some concerns about this agreement that you talk about when someone is vying for a political office. They should be aware of the people who are in the gutter, the people who are in the room, the people who are on the field, and the people who they do not see because they become a part of the leadership team. They become a part of the government. It appears to me that this agreement is one-sided. You know about it. President Buckeye may not know about it. Buckeye Jalaba may not know about it. Stephen Johnson may not know about it. So that leaves me a little bit, with thinking that this is a transactional relationship that you guys, that they went in with, that I'm doing this for you to get something, but Buckeye does not know about it. So that's kind of why I'm a little bit perplexed here about this bargain that you talk about.
Can I interject, please? Just for one.
I beg you, we got to wrap up. Let's go to Mr. Jackson.
Wrap up, just
I beg you, Fatima. I beg you. Let's go to Mr. Jackson. Let him finish. We'll give you the time.
Mr. Jackson, we have 30 seconds. But anyway, that's good.
Mr. Jackson, if you give your last 30 seconds to her, then you will not speak on this issue. You are muted, Mr. Jackson. You are muted.
This is nothing new. In 1980, right after the coup, the stalwarts of the Progressive People's Party.
I mean, we're talking about post-war, man. Don't get right after the coup.
Listen to me. I'm telling you history.
Man. We're not talking about right after the coup.
I think the man know.
We're talking about post-1990. We're talking about after the you take your back to right after the coup. So my only 2-3 years old.
Okay. So what I want to say is this is embedded in your psyche and the political economy of Liberia. This is just the way it is. Because of the limited opportunities in the private sector, people typically get involved in Liberian politics because they want to participate in the spoils of victory. And that's just the way Liberia is. Nobody who supports a revolution or a coming to power of a party wants to remain impoverished. Let's just get that very clear.
Not necessarily, Mr. Jackson. I support a party with no strings attached. Just go ahead.
It is not possible. It is not possible in a political economy where it is a deeply impoverished country, especially where opportunities have been denied to people over a protracted period of time, like in Southern Africa, where I am right now today. One of the problems that the ANC has is that it has not accelerated Black economic empowerment. And that is the reason why the ANC is losing some degree of popularity to the economic freedom fighters. That's why I was going to go back, but you say, let's look at the post-war dispensation. In the post-war dispensation, the government of the United Party downsized and right-sized. But what happened? Over the period of the 12 years, they took the public sector, the strength of the public sector, almost to 70,000 because they had to reward partisans. The CDC did the same thing when it came to power. It had to create jobs for more than 20,000 of its stalwarts. If you go to the central bank, which I went to in 2019, there were about 10 receptionists. 10 receptionists. There were security officers all over the central bank, and people were looking for lucrative positions. That's just the way Liberia is. That is unfortunate. It is very unfortunate. So what President Bawka may need to do, if he's fully in charge, and by the look at the tenor and character of things, I don't think President Bawka is fully in charge. Some invisible forces, what they've done, they've transplanted the hierarchy of the party, and they appear to be calling the shots. Because Mo Ali, a party stalwart, doesn't have a job yet. Boyka Jalaba, a Party Tower, doesn't have a job yet. Stephen Johnson, a Party Tower, doesn't have a job yet. Eugene Lamy Fagon, my foster brother, who was one of the most vocal proponents and propagandists of Boyka's presidency, doesn't have a job yet. It tells me that Boyka has been co-opted by the invisible forces that I knew would co-opt him because he's an indecisive individual. Okay, and even though he's been within the corridors of power for 50 years, but he's not imbued with the decisive spirit of political leadership in Liberia to make those decisions, because you did not see that happening on a Taylor, you didn't see it happening on an Ellen, you didn't see it happening on a George Weah, but now it is rearing its very ugly head on an indecisive figure because he just doesn't have it within him. He's a good deacon, he's a good churchman, he's a good father, he's a good president, but because there has to be some degree of sternness with power. And in the implementation of that power, you have to be decisive, you have to hurt some people's feelings, and you have to be making very clear that I'm not going to tolerate people coming to my house and rebelling because they don't have a job. Because Joseph
Mr. Jackson, let's move on.
Leader, he's appearing as a leader now.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Jackson. Let's move on. Glennie and Dr. Richardson just come from eating, and we can see them. Fatima, real quick before Ambula take us home. Ambula must take us home on this one. So Fatima, real quick.
I just wanted to say something really quick. I'm not thinking the president is undecisive. I know that there are people, major players whose names have not been called. The president understands and he knows who these major players are. He knows what they've done for the country. And I just want to say out there, Dr. Richardson, I understand what you were saying, and to some degree, I agree. People do not work for these campaigns because you're looking for reward. But honestly, if you are able and capable and you are competent to serve and you want to serve your nation, you should be allowed to do so. Because right now we are looking at people who have fake degrees that were, vetted for high positions. And they haven't even made a team yet. They made a team before the mean players. I mean, we're going to say that because I'm an Ivy League educated person. So I know how people go to school. You don't go through the back door and get a bachelor's degree in 6 months. Well, that's another story. I'm just here to say that I know Honorable, let me look before COC, I'm trying to call fake Honorable Isaac Doe, before he comes back and says that, oh, the government is doing this, the government is not. No, nobody honestly, you shouldn't be on this panel talking about competency. You shouldn't be on this panel talking about what your government did. Ours is not even 2 weeks yet. It's not. Let's wait and see, because honestly, if we are comparing and contrasting 2 weeks in your government, things for head are scattered. So let's wait and see what's going on. Let us wait and see how things will fall into place.
Thank you very much, Fatima.
Right people will be in the right places and we will move forward.
But Fatima, his name is Isaac Doe.
Isaac Doe. Isaac Doe.
Yeah, it's not Blama Doe. Okay, thank you. Mommy, can you take us home on this, please?
Yeah, I can try to take the team home on this, and I agree with my Uncle Sam Jackson. I mean, information management that Richardson, when I work with international development organizations. Certain things nobody know it up there, even though you're pursuing the same objective. Certain things as a manager, I'm a manager. But directors above me, certain things I know they know up there, I don't know, but we all pursuing the same objective. So if the president of the head of a political party is having an arrangement here and feel that there's no need for the information to trickle all the way down so that it doesn't distort certain things, it's important. I will give you an example, a very classic example. And maybe you didn't observe it. During the first round of election, when they were calling results, the United Party sensed that CDC was about to cheat. And they announced in a press release that they were going to announce their result. On their way to announcing the result, ECOWAS, EU, US Embassy, and all the different partners issue a statement warning them to not do so. That's when that whole blue plastic bear story came up. And they stopped. They did not do it. During the second round, Amara Kone announced that United Party will announce her result. United Party went on and announced that result. All the diplomatic people, all the people who initially issued the first release and say, don't do it, they did not issue a release. They watched the process. The results were announced every day until the last day. They issued no statement halting that process. Somebody did that. Somebody intervened for that to happen. But you will not know that person. You will not see that person. But President Bouaka knows the person. If President Bouaka feels that that person play an important and critical role and wants them to cooperate and work with the government, somebody will say, but where the man coming from? Where the woman coming from? But the person doesn't have idea that this person play a critical role that help protect the food. So that's just one of the examples of how people can manage information at the higher level and people at the middle and low level can have no idea of. And it is important. On my agreement, and to
I disagree with you, Mohammed.
Okay.
Allow me to interrupt you.
Okay.
You're very brilliant, brilliant gentleman. But I disagree with you on this.
Okay. Good.
We agree a lot of folks came from the blind side. People with not unknown soldiers. Let's go back to the Samakedo, era. Unknown soldiers came down. They won the battle. Mommy, they should forever be unknown. They decided to be unknown. And up to this time, if you ask the American, you ask the Israeli, they will never show you that unknown soldier. The only person who know that Doke Toba, that's the only person we know. So I believe that the president should keep them. They should be unknown. Those unknown soldiers. Let me finish, mommy. I'm begging you.
After you finish,
All right.
No, after you finish.
I will yield back the time to you.
No problem. No problem. No problem.
Those unknown soldiers. The family were chilling, enjoying themselves. Many nights. Moadi will call Stanton and say, my man, I can't sleep home. I go to James Titus at Diba house to sleep. Let me say, you're not telling me to sleep. My man, I can't sleep home. I call him, I mean, Moda to go to a hotel to sleep. The people I say do that after me. Many nights. Let me be frank with you. Not only Mo Ali. So if they decided to be unknown, keep them unknown. If you want to bring them in the daylight, open a playing field, a level playing field. Bring your unknown and bring your known. Then put them together. Ambula, you and myself know what I'm talking about. Because you have become my best friend a few days every night we talk.
This revolution will not be televised.
But I do believe respect to President Bouaka. But I don't think it's about the unknown. I think it's about those that right now have captured the party so early and have seen danger. That if Reverend Tappe come in, if Mo Ali come in, George Lobo, say what you want to say about George Lobo. He's our young friend. He fought. And let's go down to the Stephen Johnson and then Patrick on that. You want to tell me today, those guys that are standing online going to senator's office to beg for job? Is that in your defense because we have some unknown soldiers that contributed? Because we have some unknown soldiers that call ECOWAS and UN? Because we have some unknown soldiers? Brother, I disagree with you.
Let me say something.
Thank you. I give back the time to you, bro.
I join that disagreement.
Eh? I put on no defense for qualified, competent, hard-working, loyal partisans to the agenda of what is happening today. I put on no defense. I'm saying the president is making a decision from among different group of people. Some of them you will know, some of them you will not know. And that's a fact. About unknown soldier in the military coup, a high-class CIA intervention is different from an unknown soldier in a political and statecraft. That's two different things.
I mean, this is a political coup d'etat, bro.
Okay, but to your point, Stanton, when this whole thing about a committee being set up, I raised the red flag. I said it's wrong. We shouldn't do it. It was wrong. The question to me was, do you believe Front Page Africa story? I said, I believe my sources. It's wrong for the president to have constituted a committee of senators and other people. I said the president's constitutional responsibility is to appoint people in his government. To have given that to different people to make that decision, it was wrong. And I said he should take back his government. That's what I said. And what we predicted is what is happening now. Create a condition, and I will learn on this. Set criteria for who you want to serve in what position. All these senators and politicians have interest. They should have interest. And you should honor their interests. Give them your criteria and tell them, say, submit names to me. I will vet the names and make the decision. But you see the time, it has turned around. They're not running to Joe Bwaka now. They're running to these senators and asking them for a job. It's wrong. We raised the alarm bell from the beginning. People were asking us whether we trusted the source. Yes, we trusted the source. And this is why it's happening now. It should not be the case. It should not.
Thank you very much, Robert. And that's why we appreciate the conversation. You are the last person, Prince, please. 30 seconds to you.
30 seconds. I would like to add to the brilliant conversation that Sam Jackson just spoke about in terms of. Come on. I would like to add to the conversation that Sam Jackson just spoke about. People that Sam Jackson just spoke about concerning the political economy. In Liberia, this is my perspective. In Liberia, I feel like our political economy is very three categories, and I feel like this is a three category of people that the appointing, vetting committee should be looking at. We know full well that there will the political party, which is the base. We know there will be political appointment. But I would love to also see civil service appointment, which are career appointment. I know there will be special interest appointment as well. That it has to happen. That's politics. But these three combination of appointment have to merge so as to create a balance for the presidential power.
That's why I mute themselves. We're hearing the background noise.
It's very, very important. Very, very important. Civil service appointment, which is the career appointment, the political appointment, which is the political party based appointment, and special interest appointment. These three appointments will have to merge together to be able to get a balance for the president. They should not forget that.
Thank you very much, guys. We got to go. Let me bring in Cooper Crab real quick. We have to have this conversation.
One more 30 seconds, my brother. Only 30 seconds.
And we got to go at Becky. You can bring that on when you get your time. Cooper Crab for Nima Kante. Councillor Cooper Crab. He's from Nima Kante. The issue here, let's just bring it on the flow. As a do, can you repeat what you said? Because you just brought this information. Now we're making phone calls to just prove what you say is right.
Well, CEO, the first thing you should know, one of the advantages of serving in government is to create contacts, even for the new government. So the fact that we just came from government, there are people who are in the hierarchy of the current government that at least we have that connection with. So we speak with them a lot of times.
I think I like crew, man.
Why do
you focus on yourself? Just talk the story. Come here, speak all the content that you get in the world. Just talk the thing, Papa. Crew, man, talking there.
By the way, I heard of that news since Saturday. So
So, as I was saying, one of the advantages of actually serving in a certain capacity is the fact that you get connection with people who would be serving in similar capacity, even if you leave. And that put us on a little better track to knowing, though we are not in Unity Party, to knowing what is going on there. Now, today I was speaking with a few friends who are around the presidency, and the issue of that position came up. I'm not sure exactly what was the real issue. I wanted to know what could have been the reason behind it. I didn't know, but the first person told me that there are some issues with the appointment to the Ministry of Justice, and the president is looking to either put a pause on it or recall the position, but PYJ is not happy. So I decided to call one or two other persons to see if the first person was actually right, and 3 of those people actually authenticated that. And so I thought something may not be right. I'm not sure exactly what it is. None of those people actually told me exactly what was the real reason. I know I was just on Facebook chatting with someone who sent me a certain video of something that they said was a propaganda. I have not gone through that, but I want to believe something is behind it. But one other thing I wanted to add, CEO, if you are into these things, when appointments are being made for certain positions, there are lots of unseen things that happen from the back. Even our international partners sometimes can have some hands in certain things. Calling this, look at it this way, that, look at it that way, and a lot of things happen from the back that you only see from the front. So I wanted to think things were around that. I wish I had known exactly what was the main reason for that, but the only thing I could confirm from at least 3 persons was some issue having to be with either a recall, a pause, or something. But I know that Prince Johnson is not happy about it.
Thank you. I don't know where we're starting this from. We're talking about Councillor Cooper Crow. If you know anything about it, we'll give everyone the chance to speak on it. But I don't know why they will pause his appointment. I really don't know. I don't know why, if they are pausing the appointment, it will lead to replacement or recall and then replacement. But is there any date set for confirmation on Councillor Cooper Crow? Any of you, is there any date set? Have we heard anything?
Is it Tuesday next week? I think I saw something. Did I see it on Dylan?
Can you share with us? We just don't want to speculate.
I'm not sure, but I'm gonna look. I think it was Tuesday. Yeah.
What you hearing? Anybody else? Is there any date set? Why will this thing be paused? And understand now, from Nima County, there's no appointment yet, but Cooper Crow. If I'm right, if you're talking about position, am I correct? Right? Is there anybody from Nima County except of Cooper Crow that been appointed? But
there's another crowd that was appointed deputy minister.
That's his daughter. That's his daughter to the executive mansion.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So again, what do you think, Dr. Richardson? What would lead to Cooper Crow appointment being put on pause?
I read a few days ago, and I believe it was Front Page Africa, that he had some allegations with taking money from his client in relating to the Mana River Union institution. I don't know how true this story is, but I believe that being recommended to be Minister of Justice for the country and having the backdrop of this type of allegation and some ethical concerns, because I believe that T.L. Gonglo was also involved in this matter. It creates a cloud of a bad decision for a justice minister. So that's what I know about it. So I won't be surprised if he is being recalled because of those allegations. You want a justice minister who, I mean, you may have some problem, make some bad choices, but not as bad as being in trouble with the law or have some ethical problems with the law. So that's what I know. And lastly, before I turn it over to the next panelist, is there has to be some lesson learned here. That there are different types of people who are in this struggle. There are people who are in the struggle to just get a job. I think we can be fair to say there's some transactional relationship. There are people who in the struggle who want change and want a job. And there are people in the struggle who don't have any string attached. They just want to see a better Liberia, maybe, to be able to go back home and enjoy a country, a deserving country. So I believe that our president and the people in leadership has to kind of determine and assess where people are, in order as he goes towards making leadership appointments. So that's what I wanted to add.
Thank you. I think what we are talking about, before we bring in Glennie, this is it. This was the new down, the allegation. But we have court document to prove that the councilor pays some of this money, or all of the money, as per the court document. Justice Minister Destiny Cooper Clark in US $58,814 is sent fraud. This was on the noon down and front page and all over. And also, there's a video that is circulating that someone just sent to me, that if it is true, the allegation that Councillor Cooper Clark was in the most famous video when they captured Doe, he was the one asking the question. I cannot confirm it. I don't know whether this is just politics.
No, that was John Yomi. That was John Yomi.
But I'm saying, Sam, you had so many people there. So we shouldn't just jump to one.
No, but it was John Yomi asking the questions. It was not Cooper Clark.
Uncle Sam,
John Yomi asking the questions.
Uncle Sam, so many people ask the question. I know what I'm coming from. I make that same argument, and they want us to play the video, but I cannot play the video because it's not a good video for me to play on this show. But you have so many people there, and I make the argument. I say, let us know, show me where you see Cooper Clark on this video. They say, yes, he's in the video. Not only John Yomi was asking questions, other folks were asking questions. The man with the microphone, I think that's him you talking about, Sam, correct?
Yeah, John Yomi, yeah.
Okay, but you have other people holding the shirt of Doe here and there. So if this allegation going forward and they can say Cooper Clark was in there and the fraud allegation, then it's troubling to know that why are we here? If it is true, we cannot confirm, not deny on this show about that video, but we can confirm that the fraud allegation in question, Councillor Cooper Clark, we have court document that he made those payments. Everything was very clear. We have the document. We still have the document. Dr. Glennie, can you help us? What we want this thing, get this thing quietly going?
So I think there will be several reasons why if these allegations are true as it relates to the video with the late President Doe, him being present, because the video is everywhere. If it is him and he can say it's him, I think it creates room for people being skeptical that he will promote the War Economics Crown Court, because that will make him a direct ally of Senator Prince Johnson, which could be a very difficult position as a justice minister to want to pursue that, which could also make international partners a little bit wary of their alliance. So I think it's important to hope whoever the Senate, the chairperson is on, is that a committee on justice or whatever that committee is, whoever that chairperson is will need to get to that video and see if it is him that's in the video and ask him. I know he hasn't said anything. Video is around. I think there was a story also in Front Page Africa about it. But I think it's important that they check and see if it's him. And it will also lead back to the earlier conversation we were having about the Internal Affairs Minister. If this is true, that he was participatory at the moment, at the point of where Samuel Doe was killed, then it's important that they look into it. I would think that would be important to withdraw him as a nominee, because it says that this is Prince Johnson's friend, and how will he promote war and economics crime court for his friend? So it's concerning.
But let me ask Mr. Jackson while we go on. Mr. Jackson, you're going to also add the War Crime Court decision, is it a factor into this nomination? Talk to us, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. You see, Prince, let me just make some disclosure here. Prince Johnson and I grew up together on the same street. We ate together. In 1980, I made a recommendation for him to be a lieutenant, and we have a very, very close and cordial relationship. Yeah. Despite all of the accusations, okay, I'm not a proponent of a World Economic Crime Court for the following reasons. I know the genesis of our war, and I know the ethnic divisions, and I know the schisms that a World Economic Crime Court would bring. But there are also some practical considerations why I don't believe a World Economic Crime Court will be effective today. And the reason is simple. It is more than 20 years after the war. A lot of in fact, from 1989 to today will be 36 years. The members and witnesses will be.
I beg you, Mr. Jackson. We have Councilor Cooper Cry, Justice Minister Destiny, on the phone. Let's bring him. He got to clarify this Doe video. Welcome to the show, Councilor. How you doing?
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you, man. We actually one of the panelists brought in a conversation that opposed your nomination, and the reason why speculation going around on three things. One, the allegation of you owing some money, $58,000. Two, your present on the clip when Doe was being arrested. Three, the War Crime Court issue. Can you talk to us, address any which one, sir?
I can address all. Let me thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak on the issues on the show regarding the whether or not our president of Liberia when they killed Doe. That is completely a fake news, and maybe somebody may have doctored something to put my picture, if there is any picture. In 1990, I left from Liberia in July when the war was approaching Monrovia. I left for Liberia and went to Italy. I remained in Italy when Doe was killed because at the time I left, my wife was 9 months pregnant. But I had to leave because I was missed on 2 occasions by the soldiers. So I left from Liberia. I went to Italy. When Doe was killed, I think around late 90 or early 1992, I came to Freetown to look for my family. I came to Bow Waterside and sent people to Monrovia, and they discovered that there were displaced people in my house. Nobody was there. I went back and flew to the Ivory Coast. I went to Dallas. I sent people to my village and discovered that my wife and children were there. I resettled there in Abidjan. And around 1994, I resettled back in Liberia. Then I think octopus came. All the two houses in Monrovia got burnt. We lived in Hotel Africa for some time, and then we subsequently traveled to the state. So we were in the state. 1995, we came back to Liberia. I've never been a fighter. I've never associated myself with any of the warring factions in Liberia. Then the other issue is can you say what the other issue was?
So the other issue we're talking about is the 58,000 United States dollars allegation.
Stands on before when I was taken to become a post and telecommunication minister. This same fellow, Edgar Signey, has sent somebody to tell me if I can't give him 75,000, he will write all kinds of things so that I cannot be considered for the Minister of Post and Telecommunication. I told him that I was blackmailing. I would not give him 1 cent. He went on Costa Show and said all kinds of things. During my confirmation, he appeared to the committee. He did not have any document to support what he said, and I had a report from the Grievance Hearing Committee that showed that I did not take 1 cent from him. But let me give the background of his story. Edgar Signey he had established a company with an Italian man called Edmunia Trapetti. This guy used to work with Tradesco Bank a long time ago. And what they were doing was that the company they set up were called Matco. They would buy rubber for Sierra Leone and sell them to Firestone. They were doing it over a period of time, and Signet and this company Matco, they complained that the German Trabetta would, after selling the rubber, he was putting the money into his private account. On the basis of that, he hired a counselor called at the time Anthony Lufan Tanier, and they filed a complaint in proper accounting. So that was at the civil law court. They won the case in the civil law court, but the lawyer was Anthony. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Am I on?
Yes, sir. Councillor, you are on. Councillor?
I think you dropped off.
He's Councillor, are you back?
Yeah, okay, I'm back.
All right, go ahead, sir.
So the case was heard at the proper accounting was filed by a counselor called Lufan. It was heard by the civil law court. There was a ruling in favor of Matco. The Trabetta announced an appeal to the Supreme Court. Because the lawyer was Anthony, he asked me if he, along with this guy called Signet, asked me to argue the case in the Supreme Court. I argued the case in the Supreme Court and won the case for $600,000 US. Because the matter was on a contingency basis, we agreed that he would pay me 20% of whatever amount that will be awarded. So $600,000 award means that you would have paid me, you have paid the law firm, our law firm, $120,000 US. But when the bill of costs were prepared and served on the Italian man in Monrovia, he ran away and went to Freetown. He stayed in Freetown. What he did was he changed, instead of bringing the rubber under the same company name, he registered another company in the name of his girlfriend, one Rebecca Izzy. Rebecca Izzy brought 4-5 trucks of rubber to Monrovia on their way to Firestone. Signet brought this to my attention, and I filed better information before the civil law court to say that these people were trying to invade the payment of the satisfaction of the judgment, and that they are using another name, even though that's the same people. The better information was heard by the court and granted, and the court ordered that this rubber should be auctioned and the proceeds should be applied against the judgment. That was done. Signet and the sheriff of the court, they took the rubber to Firestone, sold the rubber. The total they generated from the rubber was $105,333. That amount that was realized. Mr. Signet signed for the money up to $36,000 directly for the sheriff. Then the former Chief Justice Johnny Lewis ordered that the lady who brought the rubber, for whom the rubber was seized, should receive 75% of the proceeds from the sale. So that came to $43,300 and something. The court also paid that to the lady. Now, if you check, $36,000 that were paid to directly from the sheriff of the court to Signet, the $43,000 to the lady. There was a balance in the court of $24,000. As a matter of fact, we were 3 law officers that represented the Ghanaian that started the case, Councillor Twan, the Solicitor General now, and myself. When we noticed the people were not bringing any rubber anymore, but there was a balance of $24,000 with the sheriff, we called Mr. Signet, let us go and get the money so that you can pay the lawyer. We went with him to the sheriff of the court, signed for the money. They came to my law office. The 3 lawyers came. He paid each law firm $3,000 each and took the $15,000. If you check the $36,000 plus the $15,000 he took, that came to around $51,000. Then the $43,000 that were added, that were paid to the lady who brought the rubber, and the $9,000 that were paid to the 3 law officers. If you check that, that was like maybe around 110,000, 105,000. Then the court cost, that different, the 1,186, then went to the court expenses. So the revenue that was generated and the expenditure, we have the record that show that they were square up, there was nothing that remained. Now, that was done. That means my 120,000 that should have been paid to my law firm, only 3,000 I received. Meaning, Mr. Sigley owed me $117,000 against the $120,000 that I should have received. That was done. Mr. Sigley left. After about 2-3 years, he came and filed a complaint with the civil law court. He came and filed a complaint with the Chief Justice that I took $58,000 for his money and paid the lawyers that represented him without his consent. That was the cause of the complaint to the Chief Justice. Chief Justice forwarded the case to the Grievance Ethics Committee. Grievance Ethics Committee conducted an investigation of the matter, and at the close of it, they showed them all the receipt. They then recommended that since I was a lawyer for Sigley, I should ensure that the sheriff of the civil law court should make a comprehensive report regarding the how much he collected, how he disbursed the funds. The sheriff of the court made that report. The report was then I was told to submit that report to the Supreme Court. The report was submitted to the Supreme Court, and the recommendation was clear. I had the copy of the recommendation. I could send it to you for the Grievance Ethics Committee. Make sure that the court submit a comprehensive report. Failure to do that, then Council should be suspended.
Were you a shareholder in that? Were you a shareholder in the logging and mining company while serving as post and telecommunication minister? One of the many accusations that came up.
No, Stanton, I was never a shareholder. There was a company that I used to be a lawyer for this company a long time. In fact, this guy was operating in Liberia. He had a sawmill in Sando many years ago. During the war, the sawmill broke down. He came to Liberia. I represented him sometime, and then because of the representation, he had offered me 5% in the company. When I became minister, even though the company was dormant, in between the time I became minister of post and telecommunication up to date, this man had not shipped one log out of Liberia. When he offered that share to me, he had never done any logging business there, even though he had the articles of incorporation. When I became minister of post and telecommunication, I relinquished my 5% that were in the business because I was now working for government. That was done. And they amended their article. I never a shareholder. And up to today, the man is in Monrovia. He has never done any logging business out for nothing or for 2018 as far as I'm concerned. Never shipped one piece of log from Liberia. Now, I had a long-term relationship that went maybe 10, 15 years back before I became Minister of Post and Telecommunication.
Were you recommended by Senator Prince Johnson for the Justice Minister position?
No. I'm the national chairman of the MDR. As you may recall, we campaign for we formed a collaboration with the Unity Party. Okay? And we did our best. Whatever that we needed to do to win this election, we did it. If you notice, for the second round of the election, Nimba alone came up with 144,000 votes. That's how this election was won. And I've been a national chair of the party. I've been a partisan lawyer. I've been a partisan lawyer in Liberia for more than 30 years. So for me to be designated as Minister of Justice is based on my experience. It is based on my experience. It's not because Prince Johnson, because I was national chairman of the party. And if you notice, up to today, from the whole MDR, I am so far the only nominated person for the party. If you know all of the recent appointments that have been made, not one MDR member has been appointed. So I mean, it's saddened that
For the sake, we're gonna do quick question, Councillor. And I want to say we can confirm that we have the document from the court that the money in question, some payment, you make some payment, we have the receipt, everything. I will be sharing.
Make the payment. The payment was made by the court to him.
Yes.
I deny him no one
The
cent
payment
of
was
that
made,
for that
but we have the document that the payment was made. Just very quick, please allow the guys, because it's good that you came on. A lot of information out there that we need to clear out, and I think that this is troubling if we cannot hear from the horses themselves. So thank you very much. I just want to ask you this though. Yeah, then I want to say this before I pass you on to Dr. Richardson. We remember that 2018 president, we had fired you. I think 20 something, not 2018, but you were dismissed. And based on the fact that you are dismissed because they believe you are now moving towards UP. So we should keep that in the record. Like that you are in the Guado fighting and you got dismissed. So let me bring the guys in. It's just a good point to raise. Thank you. Dr. Richardson.
Councillor Crowd, thank you for coming on Spawn. I just want to ask you, do you have documentation to prove that you were in Europe during the time of those deal? Those deal. Do you also have documentation to prove some of the payments that you made from the court? Do you have documentation to prove that you relinquish your 5% share in the logging company? If you do, then you shouldn't have any problem with the vetting team at all. So that's all I wanted to ask or to say.
Well, okay, that's true. I have document, for example, maybe my being in Italy during the war, I was with a cousin of mine who was then Liberia representative FAO. Currently, he resides in Wisconsin. His name is Don Ball. So I could give you his number because during the war, when they burned my house, the houses for me in New Jersey, my passport and everything got destroyed. Okay. Because I have returned that time. I've done some renovation. When other people started with rent from the house were burned. So I don't have that old something. But you can talk to as many person in Liberia. I'm a lawyer. I'm not a soldier. I've never associated. I've never worked during the interim period when the warlord had they formed the government. I've never worked for the government. I've never worked.
All right, Mr. Councillor Crowd, we'll pass you on to the next
job in the government was my actual first job at higher level was in 2017, 2018 when I was nominated. And I tell you, when I was nominated, this same gentleman again decided to blackmail me for money because he wanted to say something that I know is not true. When the rumor of this, my nomination as Justice Minister started circulating in Monrovia, he got one Reverend Thompson to call me. That the same guy who wrote something against you in 2018 said if you don't give him some money, you will put something in the paper about you. He did it. The Reverend Thompson is a Baptist Reverend. I know him because we attended. I know he used to attend the Providence Baptist Church that I'm a member of.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. For the sake of time, there are so many on the show. Can you just, I just want to make a comment. So we'll go to Mommy and then we'll go to Glendy since Stanton is not available, and then we'll go to Mr. Jackson, and then we'll go down. Okay,
that's something I want to say. All of the documents I have, for example, regarding Mr. Sekle, the court report, I can send it to you. The Grievance Headed Committee investigation report, I can send all the documents to you. They are there. The records are